We interrupt the opening to this stream to bring you a breaking news segment from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Slobserver newsletter.
Hi guys, Dave Meltzer here from the, Wrestling Observer. I know you all bad faith actors are waiting to incorrectly talk about, AEW, but we have some breaking news here that needs to be reported now. I recently received a report that Triple H has, died in his home in Lansing, Michigan, and it's a very sad day for wrestling fans all over the planet.
The hell?
This is indisputable truth, and you heard it here first. It proves that I'm still relevant, and you should still give me your money. Remember, sports writers used to say nice things about me, so that'll be $14.99, please, from each of you.
Hey, Nimrod, I'm right here, and I'm obviously not dead.
Who said that?
It was me.
Oh.
Yeah, not dead, clearly alive.
Plans change?
How the hell does anyone take you seriously?
They don't.
Are you done lying about people being dead now? I gotta go run the world's biggest pro wrestling company.
That's, not true. I've seen insider memos from WBD that state definitively that, AEW is actually worth a, floppity jillion dollars.
What? Where the hell did you see that?
Read it and weep, bitch.
That's a tweet from the Jobber Monster. He has nothing to do with WBD. You're a con artist and an abscess between the butt cheeks of the universe.
But he, says trust me in it, and I do because it's what I want to hear.
The fact that anyone still trusts you is a friggin' miracle.
Also, tickets are now on sale for you to come meet, me and my, heterosexual life partner, Brian Alvarez, in the UK this week on the day of All In. It's only, $110 per person.
Who the hell is paying over $100 to meet you and Brian Alvarez?
Oh, not many people, right, Brian?
Oh, simmer down now.
Okay, I will.
Look, you're a turd, and the Jobber Monster needs to start his little show that he does with the Luchador, the Angry One, and Booker T.
But I matter.
You don't matter!
Oh.
Sean, I made Dave Meltzer sad again!
What the hell is happening out here? You know what? I don't want to know. Hey, let's start the show. All right, it is Tuesday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for the fastest rising pro wrestling live stream podcast on the internet today. It is time
for Tooney Talk Wrestling. Folks, I'm Marvin, and I am the Movie Monster, and I am pleased to bring you another evening of wrestling talk. With our esteemed panel joining us this week. I'm looking at the background here, and it's AEW Disciplinary Committee, folks, aka DIS. Where are you?
I think Japan or some
okay.
Asian company.
Why?
Because I had to update the program I used for this, and all my custom backgrounds were flipped upside down for some reason. So
and
you
just decided to choose Japan because you're a weeb. Okay.
Because it was there. And hey, real quick. I love the Stickly reference.
Thank you. I hope people in the chat got that Brian Alvarez was Stickly, because I've had that planned. I've had that planned for months, and I was like, I gotta make a Stickly, and then I realized I could just make a Stickly image move like that. So you're gonna be seeing more of Brian Alvarez in the future on headline.
10-year-old Dis is all about Stickly in the summer. That was my
dude.
My jam,
in the summertime, Stickly was it. Stickly was my jam.
So.
All right, guys. Also joining us this week, our good friend and colleague, Awful Wrestling, aka the Angry One.
Angry One. What's going on, fellas?
Well, that was what Tripp called you. He called you the Angry One.
Okay. Me. I don't know how to do no voiceovers. Oh well. What's going on, fellas? Can't wait to talk some wrestling.
Absolutely. So Kevin Apollo not here yet. If he does make it tonight, he's going to be late. However, he's out on vacation in, I think it's Cape Cod or something like that, with his family this week. And so get this. Guess what week it is up there in Cape Cod? It's Bear Week.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. So Kevin Apollo has been spending the week in his personal hell, getting eye banged by every twink in Cape Cod. It's amazing.
Oh, you mean that type of bear?
No, I mean that type of bear. I don't mean the bear that eats out of his trash that he hates so much. No, that kind of bear.
So he's not wearing any tank tops this week.
No, I'm pretty sure he's covering up and walking with a hunch. Maybe
he's got a turtleneck on.
He puts on an old lady wig and a muumuu and starts walking around.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bear Week. Do they call it Bear Week up there?
They do. It's like a thing. It's Bear Week. You know what? I'll switch over the branding to Tooney Town TV for a second, because I got to show you guys this video. It's Kevin Apollo chasing a bear away from his real quick. Hold on. Do I have it? Do I not have it? Oh, apparently I don't have it.
Oh
no, it was one of his better tweets.
Yeah, no, it's him
one of his apolitical tweets.
Yeah, right. All right, so we got a ton to get to this week I will try to find the bear video and use it this week. So we got some super chats to get to before we dive into the heart of the show. John JID 999, a good friend, checking in for $10. He says All In is 5 days away, and it doesn't feel any different just how it's been. Right now, people are trying to win the make yourself as unlikable.
Is that me?
No, I'm here. We're okay.
Is Marv stuck?
Marv appears to be stuck. So while Marv's stuck, I can probably read this one here.
Yeah, please.
Give me a minute to pull it up. Marv, come on, man. What are you doing? All right. John JID 999. All In is 5 days away, and it doesn't feel any different just how it's been. Right now, people are trying to win the Make Yourself as Unlikable Before Wembley award. Glad you all are here to sort through that nonsense. Around this time every year, when we get to the all pay-per-views, things get a little crazy in AEW. We had the all. Yeah, I know it's weird. We had the all incident. We had brawl. We had brawl out, and now it seems like I guess this year it was MJF and Britt, and then Dave Meltzer had a breakdown apparently. So
really, with who?
Well, I mean, just what we've seen this past with us, really. I guess.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So. But John Jay's, he's absolutely correct. Like, I mean, this event feels like it's going to take place in the next 2 months with the excitement factor. I mean, there's no buzz whatsoever. And shouldn't they be in England right now? I mean, shouldn't they be in the UK right now, like promoting this thing heavy? Have we heard any sort of heavy promotion?
They're in the UK, but they haven't really done a lot of promotion yet. I mean, they're doing isn't Dynamite? I know Collision's in the UK this week. So yeah. So I mean, they're actually doing UK shows and stuff, which is nice, but it doesn't matter. I mean, did you see the first pitch from Swerve?
Well, that whore has blocked me, so I did not actually get to see it. Yeah, I'm going to call him a whore. Swerve Strickland, you whore.
It's really weird because last week, all over my timeline were videos of it was Mercedes Moné, Swerve Strickland, and Darby Allin at the Rangers game because they're going to be in Texas for All In next year. Right. I'm sure everyone's very excited about that. But they were coming out on the field doing their thing, and they got no reaction at all. Like zero crowd reaction. And then you see Swerve and Mercedes are trying to get the crowd pumped up and nothing.
Oh no, tell me they weren't doing the butterfly arms like, get your hands in the air, come on, let's go.
Yes, they were. Absolutely they were.
Cringe.
But nothing, no reaction at all. Then I went to find it today because I was like, this needs to be played on the show. This would be hilarious on the show tonight. And then I found the only video that was available anymore was a muted video, and it wasn't my computer. I hit unmute, mute, unmute. I went to my phone. I hit unmute, mute, unmute. Nothing. Swerve posted a video of him throwing out the pitch and took the sound out completely.
Oh,
so yeah,
can't imagine why.
Yeah, but you can't find the original video anywhere, and this is why they're not doing a bunch of promotion other places is because this is what happens when they do promotion. They get nothing from it, So thank you, John JID 999. Let's move on here. We have another $9.99 super chat from Colin Taylor, great supporter of the show. He says, I super chatted too early, egads. It's never too early. Never too early for a super chat. This thing was available. Hey, look who's back.
Okay.
Awesome.
He came back for a second. We'll keep while he's sorting that out. We'll keep plowing through here.
Gotcha.
Never too early to super chat.
Can you guys hear me?
Now I can. Yes.
Yes. Now we can't.
Now we can't. Now we can't. Okay. Anyway, back to what. You know what would have been really fun if nobody else showed up.
Right.
And it was just. Oh, there he is. Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Just keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going. Okay,
so we are
back. Yeah, this would have been a whole lot of fun if Awful didn't show up because then I'd just be here talking to myself, and that would be awesome. Let's go back to the super chat. It's never too early to super chat because we will get to them at the top of the show no matter what. You can super chat on Monday if it's available on Monday. But thank you very much, Colin Taylor. Awesome supporter as always. Moving on. Liger J81, Mercedes creative control is Cassandra in Deadpool during the subway scene. She drags him around the arena with her crystal fingers into her office.
Oh, dear God. All right. I think I'm back, by the way.
You are.
All right, cool. All right. Well, Cassandra in Deadpool dragging him around I'm assuming Tony is the one she's dragging around?
I'm assuming, yes.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, the camera went off because I got to conserve internet power, apparently. I don't know what the hell happened. But, yeah.
Turn on your generator.
Yeah, it's conspiring against me. But yeah, so that's a good one. Alejandro Melendez for $9.99 says, "Rejoice! Tuxedo Dom faced Zoisite Priest, and when things seemed bleak, Moonlight Finn and his merry men helped him. Queen Rhea tried to interfere, but Liv the Fair hit her with Scepter of Love." That's a Sailor Moon reference for those of you that don't get that.
I don't.
Of course you don't. This is trying to pretend.
No
you know, if Kevin
fogey.
Apollo were here, he would let you know that he gets that reference. So,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a weeb.
No, not at all. Not at all. With your lanterns behind you. No, but I have been loving the Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Liv Morgan. I like how it's all coming together. What do you guys think?
How is this the first time that I've cared about Judgment Day? I've never disliked Judgment Day, but I've never been really invested in the story until they break up and become this other faction, and then they're totally different now. But man, I like them so much better with
I've liked them since they got away from Edge.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Did you hear last night, by the way? They chanted "We want Edge" for a minute during Raw last night.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is funny because it shows that nobody has any idea that he is Adam Copeland in AEW.
I was about to say,
yeah, really.
Find him, but I don't recommend it. Actually, not right now because his leg is broken.
I mean, it makes sense, right? If you are just a WWE fan, you're not a fan of anyone else. You see this storyline with Rhea and with the Terror Twins back together. Now it does seem like the time that they would bring Edge back, and if this wasn't the real world where he's moved on and this was just WWE world where people leave and come back, it would make sense for the casual fan to think Edge was coming back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can totally see where that's coming from. But Edge, I'm pretty sure Edge has probably got several more years wrapped onto his contract there in Tooney Town.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't before.
See what you did,
now.
Edge, you big dummy.
Yeah. Tony, do you think Tony has the stones to extend Edge's contract, or do you think Edge is
if he thinks he's going to leave, I think he'll extend it in a heartbeat. He'll have no reservation.
You think he's going to hobble right back to the WWE?
I think so. I think Edge is going to get out of there the second he's able to get out of there. I really do.
In 4 years.
Redosaurus for $5 says, after Roman Reigns defeats The Rock, what then? Does he retire and ride up into the sunset like Taker kind of did after winning his Boneyard match? You know what? Honestly, Red, I hadn't thought of that before, but he might. It's very, very possible that he might do that because you're going to
Why would he do that?
Because Roman, it's been rumored that Roman wants out for a while, that he's ready to go off to Hollywood and kind of try his luck there. The Rock's, he's The Rock's cousin. I'm sure he'll be I'm sure there'll be no end to the opportunities he's going to have. He's a good-looking guy. He's a big guy. He could be an action hero, and the masculine action hero is starting to make a comeback. We're no longer getting movies with action heroes that look like Liv Morgan and Sammy Guevara. Hollywood is starting to take note of the fact that people want to see people that look like The Rock and Roman Reigns in their action movie, and John Cena. So.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Go ahead. Yes,
I was gonna say I don't see him going away, but I could definitely see him being the Brock Lesnar, just coming in every 6 months or so,
and still winning the title, and then
possibly.
Look, I said it last week, guys. I really think The Rock beats Cody for the championship, and then faces Roman at WrestleMania.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Cody makes it to WrestleMania with that belt.
I don't know, man.
You think it's better than chasing it?
I think it depends on two things. Number one, how this bloodline feud plays out. Number two, whether or not The Rock wants it. Because if The Rock wants it, The Rock's going to get it.
Right.
Well,
I think there's a lot of intrigue with. Go ahead.
Is somebody throwing their microphone against a wall right now?
I swear to God, that's not me. That's all Dis. Blame Dis. That's not
the light fell off my computer, so I had to.
Okay.
He was going to stay quiet, Marv. He was not going to fess up to that, by the way.
He wasn't. He was going to let you take the heat. My goodness.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
But what I was going to say was like, there's like 3 years worth of new feuds now that Roman Reigns is a good guy. So you could have him face a heel Randy Orton, obviously Gunther. Hell, even who's the big guy, the tsunami guy? Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. Bronson Reed. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many. I can take it, and just like you said, he can do the Brock Lesnar route. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see those types of new matches now. You know, he's a baby. He's what he wanted to be. He's what they wanted him to be 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like everybody rooting for him. So give him the chance. Give him the shot.
Triple H has done in a year what Vince tried and failed to do for like 7 years, like to get Roman Reigns over to this extent as a babyface. Vince tried and tried and tried, and it would not happen. All the suffering succotashes in the world were not enough to make that guy the number one babyface the way they wanted him to be. And then all of a sudden, you know, and I said it back then, I'm like, the second you turn him heel, he's a babyface. Like, and they did, and it was awesome, and now he's the biggest babyface on the planet.
It's so crazy because I was just listening. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was listening to the K100 podcast just today, and they had an old interview with Kevin Sullivan, God rest his soul. And Kevin Sullivan said, "I don't know why Vince is not pulling the trigger." This was like 5-6 years. I don't know why Vince is not pulling the trigger on Roman Reigns. You turn him heel, he's instant money. And here we are today. It's so prophetic that Kevin Sullivan, of course, the genius of professional wrestling, would say.
Absolutely.
And of course, Marv, you as well.
Colin Taylor sent a super chat yesterday because I'm old and got the date wrong. Can you see that? No, Colin. The other one I saw was the one that read. So if you sent one, just like tag me in it in the chat and tell me what you said, and I'll read it out loud. So. It's awful calling in from the moon. Yeah, he's switching over to his computer soon. He's on his phone right now. Alejandro Melendez says, "All hail the power of love and friendship." Absolutely. Moon pride. And we got another one. Dr. 64 checking in. Roman and Cody are both babyface. Seems unlikely they would headline Mania without a turn. It's probably Rock Roman. That's what I meant, Dr. 64. I meant that The Rock beats Cody for the world championship before WrestleMania, like maybe at the Rumble, and then it's Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the championship. Roman takes the Rumble, and that would be how it was done. That's how I would do it.
It's possible, but let me say this: WWE has done such a great job of getting storylines past the point where they need titles involved. Like Drew and Punk have the bracelet. They have the Ulafala. Is that how you pronounce it? Ulafala? Is that
sure? We can go with that.
Sure. They have that. These things are more over than most titles in wrestling. Even Rock's People's Champion title, I'm sure when he comes back, is going to be just as crucial to that storyline. The watch that him and Cody were talking about. Those things have now become things to fight over and things you can base main events around. It's almost like Roman going for the title again and The Rock and Roman fighting over the title is oddly a step back in the storyline, where now it seems like it means so much more than the title. Now it's about being that tribal chief. Now it's about being the leader of the family. And when you bring that title back and it's just a title, it almost loses something in the story. It feels less personal when you add that in, to me. I think I'm with you on that, especially now that Afa is gone. Like the gonna mean so much more now. Which, by the way, rest in peace, Afa. John JID 999 had said to us on our Tooney Talk TV stream that Afa had passed on Thursday.
And so, Kevin and I kind of memorialized and said, oh, rest in power, King, and all that other great stuff. Then we found out Afa was very much alive and Dave Meltzer was an idiot. And then Afa passed away the next day. So, big, huge win of a life is Afa. I mean, the guy, I can't even begin to describe, just one of the toughest human beings on the planet. And it's so strange to me that he went so soon after Sika.
I know. Well, it's like those things where, you hear about a married couple who, lived to be 85 years old and then one dies 3 weeks after the other one. And it's like they were sticking in for the other one. Afa, what I will say about Afa, and I don't think he gets a lot of credit for, is how he completely kind of reinvented himself and added a whole new level to his character after his wrestling career was over when he was managing the Head Shrinkers. Whereas, while he was a Wild Samoan, he was the crazy, uncontrollable guy. And then he kind of did take on this higher level role when he was with the Head Shrinkers that changed my perception of him completely. Just a great performer all around. And even the aura that he added when he would come back for these Bloodline segments, can't be dismissed.
Absolutely.
And I hope those guys are up in heaven fighting the Bulldogs together one more time,
You didn't have to be a big fan. You didn't have to know too much about Afa or Sika when their presence was felt in the during the entire Roman Reigns tribal chief thing. They just their presence alone added weight to his whole title reign. And they were only shown on TV once, but I was always like ready to see them one more time to get a little bit more involved in the Bloodline feud. Unfortunately, that can't happen now. Do I still sound like I'm on the moon, or?
No, you sound better now.
Okay. But rest in peace to Afa. How old was Afa? Did they say?
That is a good question. I am gonna just pretend to keep talking while I look that up on. Great in-ring performer. 81.
I'm sure he had a great 81 years old. So he lived a great full life.
Yeah, he did. He did. We got another super chat here. Spontaneous Compulsion for 10 pounds sterling says, if Taker debuted in AEW as a new character the next week, 5 more people will be doing Old School, and Orange Cassidy would kick out of a tombstone at 1. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but let me tell you something. If Mark Calloway was actually in that locker room, those things would not be happening, and they would all hate it.
If we really want AEW to change, the fastest way to do it would be get Undertaker over in AEW.
Yeah,
because he would not stand for any of that.
Oh man, could you imagine? I could not imagine. The only person I could see there are 3 people that I could never see existing in the AEW locker room space for too long. One is the Undertaker, the other is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the other is Brock Lesnar.
Oh no, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, you could name out 5 or 6 more people.
Those 3 would just murder the entire locker room, I think.
CM Punk probably can never.
but I get what they say. Like they're saying is that they're all doing each other's moves. They're all kicking out of the Canadian destroyers at 1. I mean, it's just a mess, and it's not even to me. It's not even wrestling at this point. It's just kind of like become its own thing. Like it's not wrestling and it's not sports entertainment. It's like, I don't know. It's all elite wrestling. I guess that's the way you can put it. It's its own thing at this point.
Yeah. Well, do you remember yesterday on Raw, Bronson Reed kicked out of one of Miz's signature moves at 1, and they made a huge deal about it.
Right.
Just saying, look at that. Can you believe he kicked out at 1? This monster. You can't do that in AEW because everyone kicks out at 1.
To kick out at 1. So to kick out at 1 is a psychological thing that I think a lot of people miss. Especially in AEW, they miss it. It is like, look, at the end of the day, in a world where wrestling's real, the wrestler doesn't always need the 2 count to kick out, but they take that extra second to catch their breath. To kick out at 1 is not only saying that you're fine, it's saying that you don't need that extra time.
Right.
Like you're making a
And-
statement
and-
when you kick out at 1.
Right. And you can do it either at the beginning of the match, it's fine. Or in situations like speed, it's okay, where they need to kick out at 1 because they need to utilize all the time they have. But like you said, it is a statement. It is something. Bronson Reed, and they built that way too. Bronson Reed was like, I'm tired of this. I'm done with it. Now I'm going to win, and
Right.
that's why he kicked out at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing when you do it, they just said in the chat, he already kicked out at 1 to a tombstone. When you do it at 1 3 times a night, it becomes another kick out. It doesn't matter anymore. And I get why they do it. For a while there on the indies, everyone was chanting 2, so they kicked out at 1 to kind of surprise them and do that whole thing. But this isn't the indies. This is a television show where they need to get people over, and you can't get everyone over at the same time with they're all doing the same thing. And that's
Colin Taylor for $10. Remember, he lives in Japan. Can we please get this out of my neighborhood? Neighbors have accepted me as a novelty. A second America may be too similar to AEW's belt situation. Colin Taylor, you are the best. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't imagine you in Japan, Dis. I really can't. I know how to
wonderful
order,
in Japan.
I know how to order like rice and water in Japanese.
Oh wow!
So,
Please school me. What do you say?
Gohan to mizu kudasai. Means rice and water,
Gohan
please.
to kumisai.
Yeah, close enough.
Where's that toilet again?
It's all right, awful. They'll fear you, so you can get away with it.
Yeah.
I'd be okay in Japan.
Indeed.
I have this aura about me that kind of makes I just kind of, whenever I'm in a place where I don't know, I kind of put on the I'm aloof kind of thing, and people always are fine with me. They're,
Okay.
It's like, oh, bless his heart, So
He's such a dummy.
Out of water.
Bless his little heart.
Exactly. I'm used to, I lived in St. Louis for 30 years, and then I moved out into literally the middle of nowhere. I had to adjust and learn how to just get people to accept you. And the best way to do it is just don't hurt, don't cause no harm, act kind of dumb, and people will just kind of, like you said, bless your heart, so
Life lessons from AEW disciplinary committee.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mentioned earlier, we kind of jumped the gun on Afa's death on Thursday. That's because of Dave Meltzer, and Dave Meltzer wrongly reporting Afa's death. And this kicked off what has been known now as probably Dave Meltzer's worst week ever. He started off by trying to make a common sense guess, the same common sense guess that you made multiple times about Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, them not wanting them to touch, and then immediately they touched.
Yeah, I did it 2 weeks ago. You don't do it, so I'm safe. But he's not.
No, you're safe. Meltzer said it, and then immediately they started fighting each other. So yeah, but the thing is, you said it as, I think that this is what's going on. Dave Meltzer says this is what's going on because he has to pretend that he knows everything that's going on.
Well, he says that until the very end, and at the very end, he always goes, "But plans might change. Who knows? Maybe he is injured. I don't know."
Right, like Triple H being dead in the opening,
or like Roman faking his cancer. Remember that?
Well, that's the most egregious one. And so and he just cannot stop bringing hardship on the Anoa'i family apparently because he announced that Afa was. So then he announced that Afa was dead, and Afa was very much not dead.
So bad.
And then Afa's family had to take time away from their dying loved one to answer questions from people and be like, no, he's not dead. Can we please have time with him in what time we have left? And then he died the next day. So Dave Meltzer made a stressful situation on a family that was already starting to grieve
Even
so much worse because he's Dave Meltzer and he cares more about being the first one to get to the table with the story that he cares about actually being accurate and respectful, especially about something like a death. Yes, this is the guy that said Roman Reigns faked cancer, which, he'll swear up and down he didn't say it, but you look at what he said, and that's what he said. So,
yeah.
I apparently, first off, could you imagine being one of his family members on the road, traveling with WWE, and then looking at your phone and seeing Dave Meltzer report that he died, and having that sinking feeling in your stomach? Because not only is a family member dead, but you had to hear it from Dave Meltzer, of all people,
or one of his orbiters or satellite people. You know what I mean? Like, and then who knows what kind of stress that could give someone. And he's an idiot. Why would you even? First off, why would you even? Okay, the understanding is that Afa has passed in his mind, but why would you report that before anyone else, before even the family were to announce it? Like it's such egregious journalism. It's not even journalism. It's salaciousness. It's rag reporting.
Because
hell no.
No, he has to be the first one to the table. That's the thing. He's got to be Dave Meltzer. He's got to be the first one to report. I've got the inside scoop.
Yeah.
So what was it, Jess? What did he say? Just
his explanation. Here's how he found out. He found out because he read. Okay, one of Afa's family members put out a very long tweet where it said that it just sounded like a goodbye tweet, but nowhere in it did he say that Afa died. He was saying that I'm spending
he
the
took
last.
He took
Yes.
that and said Afa died.
Yes.
Anyone, if a single person is still giving him money, that is entirely too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, put this man out of business. Seriously, I've never really wanted any of this to fold like AEW, but he's the next one. He's got to go. Like, he's just too old. You mentioned earlier, Marv, that give the reign. I think you said it in a tweet. Give the reins to Brian Alvarez at least. At the very least, you're going to.
I would never say that.
Okay, that might have been another movie monster. Either way, it's time to hang up.
That was
okay.
Me. And we'll talk
it was
about
this.
That. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Oh, you open letter to Dave Meltzer?
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Let's get through his mistakes first, and then I'll kind of.
Yeah. But before we get to that, Johnny Cage for $10 says, it almost seems that when Uncle Dave reports something on WWE, Triple H then goes and does the complete opposite just to mess with him. I don't think Triple H thinks that much about Dave Meltzer. I think Dave Meltzer is just wrong a lot of the time. And I think what happens is Dave Meltzer makes common sense guesses that any wrestling fan who's watched wrestling for more than 6 months could figure out. And Triple H is trying to subvert those expectations of the common fan. And Dave Meltzer is the common fan. So,
and now we all realize it.
Check it in. Our friend But Why Alyssa for $20 Australian. Hey, there she is. The Curious Case of Meltzer. He's been bad for years, but it's been so much worse recently. Is he going nuts, or is his own BS catching up to him, making him insecure and wanting to jump the gun more on reporting things? I honestly think that's it. I think he is completely insecure. I think that he is desperate to remain relevant. I think that now more than ever, because now Dave Meltzer has clearly always wanted to be in the wrestling business, and he has never been closer than he is in the era of AEW, where now all the cool kids suddenly decide they want him around, they like him, they respect his opinion, yada yada yada. They vie for his attention, they name moves after him. Bloody Britt Baker in the back being like, "Do you think Meltzer will give this 5 stars?" Like, shut up.
I think part of it too.
Good Lord, she's sitting there with blood dripping down her face. Who cares what one ridiculous old man thinks about your match? Who cares?
Dave Shear.
Britt Baker does.
Friend of the show, Dave Shear. We all know Dave. Owner of PWInsider.com. Great site.
Yep.
He actually started his newsletter, The Daily Lariat, back in the late 90s because he was working with the ECW at the time. He was kind of like I was with indie companies in my area for ECW, just kind of a guy there who does stuff for what they needed. And he was reading the newsletter, Observer newsletter, and he said there was just so much stuff that was completely wrong, blatantly wrong, but there wasn't anywhere else for people to go. And that's why he started
stuff that was wrong.
Daily
Stuff
Lariat.
that was wrong about ECW specifically.
Right, that he could verify was wrong, that he knew for a fact was wrong. And that's why he started the Lariat, was to kind of say, not all, I can do this. I can be a better journalist than Dave. If Dave can do it, I can do it better. And that's why he built it. This isn't new. The only difference is now there's social media. He can't rely on having a newsletter that's read by 500 marks in their basement and no one else will see it. All his mistakes are plastered around the world for everyone to see. So that's the main problem now, and that's why he tries to do a lot of this crazy stuff on his message board. But when he got guys like
you got Shearer, you got Shearer, you got Mike, you got Shearer, you got Mike Johnson, and I know you guys don't like him, but you got Sean Ross Sapp, and they are his competition. And they actually do their homework, and they report, and they check their sources, and they don't rush the gun on these things. He doesn't have the resources that these guys have anymore, because no one in the WWE and none of his old friends will talk to him anymore since he became the AEW cheerleader. And what we're seeing now is he's rushing the gun, and he has gotten taken so many times by so many flimsy reports just to be the first one to the board. Remember when somebody like just emailed him out of the blue and was like, yeah, I work for this company and this is what's happening. And he ran with it without verifying. Yeah, but I work for New Japan. I work for New Japan. This is what's happening. And he printed it. Or he printed the thing about WWE fans were in the crowd at AEW and they were yelling racist things, and he confirmed that because a longtime subscriber to the Observer told him about it. Like, he doesn't do his due diligence. He's not a journalist. He's a scumbag. He's a bottom feeder. He is a cold sore on the lips of life.
When the Matt Hardy Edge stuff was going down years ago, Dave was reporting all these things, and I remember I was subscribed to the PW Insider Elite, so I would listen to Dave Shear's show, and he would talk about it, and he would just go over all the he would say like Matt. He didn't say Matt specifically because he wouldn't name names, but he said, they contacted me with this info too, and I double sourced it, and it was wrong. I can clearly tell you that this is not true, and Dave has reported it anyway. And that's what he does. And it's because he makes most of his money from wrestlers now. A lot of his subscribers are wrestlers who want good coverage.
I'm sure.
Because if you don't subscribe, he's going to talk bad about you. He's going to give your matches a worse rating.
That's the thing about Dave Meltzer, is that he has always by talking nice about him, he gives you better star ratings, and for some reason people take that as currency or something like that. And the other thing about him is people use him as a way to push their political. Bischoff says it all the time. People use Dave Meltzer to push their version of the truth. It's not, it's not the actual truth. It's the version of the truth that makes them look better to the fans. So.
Yeah. And Meltzer you're more likely to be talked bad about in the Observer if you aren't subscribed. So they subscribe.
What's funny about Dave?
What?
What's funny about Dave is that he has the luxury of correction. He can tweet something and it could be completely outlandish, but by the time print time comes, or for him to write up his newsletter digitally, it's now in the history books as him being correct. It's not like he's going to ever say, like, I made a mistake here, I effed up here. And by Friday afternoon or whenever he goes to type up his little rag there, he's already got corrections. He may not have sources, but he can hide the truth enough where his reader will, he may have said this outlandish tweet on Tuesday, but by the time the newsletter comes out, you hear nothing about it. And so he has that sort of luxury. At the same time, his credibility is going down tubes, and it's like I said, it's very apparent now. Very apparent.
Big time. And so we are
shout out, but why Alyssa, by the way.
Yes. We will one day have her on the show. I've been, the time difference between here and Australia is so extreme that like it's early. I believe it's probably early morning for her. So she's got responsibilities.
Oh,
in her
she's
life that
up.
she's got to handle. So
She's up and partying right now. But
of course.
hopefully she's going to do a Dave Meltzer face.
Sundown. Yeah. Oh no! Do not do it, Alyssa. Do not do a reface of yourself as Dave Meltzer again. Every time I'm scrolling X and one of those pops up, it's just like whoa, like goodbye erections for the rest of the day. Like, his face, his stupid face. Oh my gosh.
With her jugs, oh man, you can't beat it.
Oh my gosh. Colin Taylor says.
Colin Taylor gave us the chat from yesterday. Yeah.
Yes, the chat he said yesterday. He said, "I have a coworker who is Japanese and a very big mock. He asked me the other day, whatever happened to Aleister Black? Did he retire or something? I told him Black is in AEW. He was genuinely surprised. Oh, there you go. That is 100%. How most people react to AEW. I believe in my Acolyte video on Tooney Town TV, I believe the conclusion opens with the line look, Disney handled the Acolyte the way certain wrestling, just like certain wrestling companies whose name shall remain nameless only because most people have never heard of AEW. Whatever, I thought it was a good line. Shut up. But so that's most people don't know what it is. All right, so moving along with the Dave Meltzer stuff, we have an article to read through. It is an article from Forbes, but it is also an article from a friend of ours because a good friend of ours writes for Forbes. From Alfred Kanua of Pro Wrestle Bits, he says Dave Meltzer's internal memo gaffe caps a week of faulty reporting. There is a stupid face. Imagine that face with Alyssa's breasts like right underneath it. No, absolutely not. Alfred says 2024 has been a wild year in the world of pro wrestling, and with wild years come a whirlwind of stories. Unfortunately, venerable wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer's pattern of faulty reporting throughout 2024 has become a story in and of itself. Dave Meltzer's tumultuous week saw the Wrestling Observer newsletter report the death of WWE legend Afa Anoa'i in a since-deleted tweet. Meltzer himself issued a correction, which has since been deleted. He deleted the correction. Did you guys know that?
I still have it.
I still have it. But I have a saved picture of it. We can't see it because Dave blocked all of us. So
he tweeted out, but he tweeted out the correction according to this article and then deleted it.
That's crazy.
That's insane to me. Because he has to correct it, right? But he doesn't want the correction to be out there for long. So he has to then, that is ego on a whole other stratosphere. Ugh. Especially for something as disgusting as misreporting the death of a WWE legend. What are we saying, Dis?
And he just blocks everybody so he can pretend that like we can sit here and repost that stuff over and over again and say, no, he was wrong. He corrected himself. It doesn't matter because he blocks us and just pretends none of it is happening and we don't exist. He acts like his critics don't exist at all, you know?
Look, I understand the mentality behind wanting to block people because you're busy in your life. I block people. If somebody gets uppity with me, they get blocked just because I don't have the patience to deal with it. But he purposely silences people, I think. And it's not even just people that talk bad about him. It's just like he blocked me before I ever had a puppet of him. Like he blocked me just because I said something about AEW.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys got blocked?
He blocked me when I had 50 followers. 50.
I mean, look, anyone that comes at me on X gets blocked because I don't have the time to waste on that kind of crap.
I just corrected him. I corrected him about something and he blocked me. So.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're not allowed to correct him. If somebody corrects me for something that I said wrong on X, I actually thank them and I retract my statement. So
exactly.
And I don't delete the retraction, idiot. Sometimes.
Well, he's not blocked me. That's crazy.
I will typically delete the misreporting statement, but then I will not delete the apology for it because I don't want people to see the statement by itself and think that it's real. He said, so then he went on to apologize for the gaffe on the August 16th broadcast of Wrestling Observer Radio. I want to apologize, because I had mentioned Afa's death yesterday. I got text during the day, I had gotten text that he'd passed away during the day, and a couple more while I was writing the Kevin Sullivan story. And I saw a post from Samula, and other people saw that Afa died, which, in fact, he was still alive at the time. So, yeah, you're supposed to then confirm the story.
Right. But he didn't do that. And his apology is half-assed.
Oh, yeah, of course. Alfred then quotes Eric Bischoff saying, Dave, you are not only comically ignorant when it comes to the wrestling business, your sloppiness, lack of integrity when it comes to your cosplay reporting makes Pond Scum look good. According to Eric Bischoff, man, he is the king of smacking this idiot down. So Afa officially passed away on August the 6th, 2024, less than 2 months after the death of his brother and fellow Wild Samoan Sika. WWE aired a tribute to the WWE Hall of Famer Friday on SmackDown. Now we move on to Dave Meltzer's WBD internal memo gaffe. This is I wanted to wait for this one because I wanted Alfred to guide us through this instead of me guiding us through that just from memory. So. Oh man, I love it. Let me just change the format of the way we're going here. All right. Unfortunately, Meltzer's week of misreporting didn't end with Afa's passing. Meltzer took to his F4WOnline.com message board to report what he thought was an internal memo from Warner Brothers Discovery about the valuation of AEW programming. I saw an internal memo from WBD on the total value of AEW programming. It was $288,265,720 per year based on ad revenue and 2% of TNT carriage rates, 2.5% of TBS carriage rates, and 3% of True TV's carriage rates. It also included purchasing a pay-per-view franchise, said Meltzer ahead of AEW's expected announcement of a new television rights deal. Meltzer received backlash for the post almost immediately, and it was not an internal memo from WBD, but rather a fan estimate from a Discord server. I believe it was the Fightful Discord server.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes, it was.
Brandon Thurston, of all people, who obviously you guys have your little feud going on with Brandon Thurston, which I wholeheartedly support, and I'm endlessly entertained by how you guys love to troll him with your graphs and whatnot. But Brandon Thurston actually corrected him. And look, everyone's like, oh, good for Brandon Thurston being so honorable. No, Dave Meltzer is his competition. Brandon Thurston saw blood in the water and, like any good shock, attacked because he saw his biggest competitor floundering out there, making a total buffoon of himself for the second time in a week, showing his rear end to the camera, essentially, and he kicked him in it. So he said, just to correct what's happening here, I think Dave has understood this estimate that a listener that someone did and did a good job of. I think Dave Meltzer is understanding this estimate to be an internal memo somehow. All these details matching is pretty astronomical. I've pointed this out to Dave as well. Meltzer has since removed his message board commentary, though he went on to comment on AEW's upcoming TV deal. AEW's success or lack thereof will be known when the deal gets done. I've said a million times that I don't assume anything, but either Tony Khan or his detractors will end up with egg on their face. No, you have egg on your face. You have egg on your face, you benign idiot, because you are the one who reported on a fake thing from a message board as if it was real. You are the one who just this year thought that The Rock and Triple H were doing some kind of backstage vignette when it was something that aired a decade ago.
Oh, that's right. He did do that dumb shite.
It's time to wrap it up.
Yes. Call it. He can, he can keep doing his reviews. He can keep going.
Report on history. Do your star ratings. Just
do
stop
the MMA
reporting
stuff.
The news.
You're right. Because I know that there are dissenting opinions about Alvarez. Here's my thing about Alvarez. I don't think we can judge Alvarez right now because Dave brought him into this world. He does owe something to Dave. So to just crap all over him now that Dave's doing bad and move on and do something else, I think Alvarez was kind of a jerk for doing that. I think he is sticking around because you can hear it every once in a while, right? Every once in a while, when you listen to them or when you read something Alvarez says, you can hear him just kind of roll his eyes at Dave or kind of sidestep or distance himself from Dave. And it makes me wonder what he can do on his own. But we'll never find out if Dave keeps doing this. If Dave keeps this up, WON is going to be dead. It's going to die. And then it'll, there's
nothing
no
wrong with that.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I personally wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't care. I'm surprised Dave doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Look, Dave Meltzer is in the middle of the midlife crisis to end all midlife crises. If he could afford a red Corvette, I'm sure he'd be driving one right now. He is in complete tailspin. He is the epitome of the meme of Rob Schneider with the skateboard slung over his shoulder going, "How do you do, fellow kids?" Like, that's him in an AEW area. Like, he is he's acting like he's in his 20s again. And he's reporting with the responsibility of a college. No, you know what? Someone writing for that college newspaper would source their stuff because they're getting a grade on it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, listen,
there are still awful people who cite him as this huge source, the people that rise and fall on his every word.
It's one of those things where you have to pick and choose, because let's not just crap all over the man. There are some things that he has been historically accurate with, and there are some things that you can source from him. To throw the baby out with with the bathwater is not the best idea, but at the very same time, Dave, he's got to really hone in on what he's doing, and you have to do your own research. Really, you almost have to follow behind Dave and find out what the truth is.
As Joseph J. Alexander pointed out, that's Steve Buscemi, not Rob Schneider. I made a mistake and I owned it, unlike Dave Meltzer.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Sorry. I'm very sorry to Steve Buscemi. He's a brilliant actor. I loved him in The Sopranos. Have not watched Boardwalk Empire, but I've heard it's good.
Oh, it's so good.
But Dave, bro, all you got to do is just fess up. All you got to do is say, "Listen, I was wrong. It was bad reporting. I'll try my best not to do it again." Don't try to take away your apology by saying, "Well, I got it from this guy and this one." No. We don't want to hear all that. You got it wrong. That's what we want to hear. You gain more credibility with your own fan base and your 309 or 310,000 followers on Twitter if you just fess up and just own it.
Yeah,
do you know why? Look, at the end of the day, everybody gets things wrong. Everybody in any walk of life, in any profession, nobody has a perfect score. Everyone gets things wrong. And what is the true measure of a real man is somebody who can get something wrong and be like, "Yeah, I got that one wrong. That's on me."
Yep, I effed up.
That's being a man. Not this putrid little tween midlife crisis garbage that this old disgusting man peddles out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Now
he would
go ahead, Dis.
If he would just own up, and it's fine. If he would just own up and say, "Yeah, you know what? My reporting these past few years hasn't been the best. I'm gonna do what I do well. I'm gonna stick to the historical stuff. I'm gonna stick to record keeping. Do my reviews. I don't think his reviews are good, but there are people who are, and bless them. That's fine. Keep that up." But I'm not gonna. He'd kind of be almost remembered as like a Bill Apter, just kind of like an older guy who used to have fun in wrestling, and people liked him, people didn't. But in the end of the day, he's harmful. Whatever. But if he keeps going down this road and he keeps destroying, he's gonna have no legacy left at the end.
His tweets don't help at all. The fact that you attack people or that you denigrate people who have less than 200 followers. And then when people really put your feet to the coal fire, you don't even respond to them. And it's so amazing. I just had to rethink this. You guys are blocked, but I'm not blocked. I can't even understand that. That's crazy.
How are you not blocked by Dave Meltzer?
Marv, if I had an answer for you, I'd give it to you, but I have no clue. I mean, Tony Khan has blocked me. Sean Ross Sapp has blocked me, but then he unblocked me. Then I was just like, F him, I'm going to unblock him. But like all these guys, I just don't get it. Like they just have to be real with it. Like, first off, don't take this industry too seriously. You're taking yourselves too seriously. All of them. You name it, from Sapp to Meltzer to Alvarez to on down. This is a worked industry. Mm-hmm. How dare you try to give to us this? How dare you try to spoon feed to us news that could possibly be rewritten in the next day or two to completely prove you wrong? And to go back to what you said, Marv, like, do you think Triple H is not paying attention to? I believe he is paying attention to what these smart marks are saying online, and Dave Meltzer and all the others.
If you think about the dirt sheets, wrestling is such an odd industry, because the way the fans consume media and the way they want to know what's going to happen before it happens. Like, if you look, if it was like a movie, like if somebody was like, hey, I know exactly how Cobra Kai is going to end, I'd be like, don't you dare tell me. Like, you shut your mouth and stay away from me. If one word of what happens at the end of Cobra Kai comes out of your mouth, we're going to have a problem. But wrestling fans are like, I want to know everything that's going to happen before it happens. Like, why? Is it just an obsessive need to feel like you're inside the wrestling business? I've never understood.
Yes, Marv. Let me be the first one to plead guilty on that. There's this great show on ABC called Claim to Fame, in which these celebrity kids or celebrity relatives are trying to outwit each other and try to they're not trying to be found out who their celebrity relative is. So what do? What's a geek like me do? I go online and I look for, like, okay, this guy is that celebrity's kid. And for some strange reason, I'm drawn to that. I don't know why, but I guess I do want to feel like, yeah, I'm part of the game. Like I'm no longer a mark at that point. I don't know if this is the best example, but yeah, there are certain things that I want to know in the wrestling business, simply because I want to see how it's going to develop into that goal. You know what I mean? Like, and for some reason, for me, like, same thing with scripts and screenplays. I love to read those things because it gives you an understanding of why a director or producer or this or an actor did the things that they did. It's a strange hobby to do, but I completely understand it.
You know, it's what you were talking about with the way Meltzer is on Twitter. And my platform is infinitely smaller than Dave Meltzer's or any of the other big, like, you know, dirt sheets or whatever. But a long time ago, I used to go back at people too. I used to fight with people. I used to, like, get into it with them. And then one day I was like, why am I doing this? I'm confident in the things that I do. I'm confident in my brand. I'm confident in what I'm presenting. That was when I stopped. That was when I just started, like, you know, if you try to come up at me, I'm just going to ignore you, possibly block you, and move on with my life and just continue focusing on doing what I'm doing. And you know what happened? People don't mess with me as much anymore. Like, they kind of like leave me alone now, which, you know, knock on wood, I hope continues to happen. But like, they kind of leave me alone, and my audience has exploded and grown. So, you know, if you just focus on your business and moving your brand ahead instead of getting into pointless Twitter fights with people. Like, you have no idea how much of my day used to be taken up by going back and forth with snotty AEW fans who were like, "Oh, you play with puppets." And
you're this guy in that Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, right. Which, no, by the way, I totally am. Right?
Exactly.
No, like they would, and I was spending so much of my day on that, and now I'm like, you know, I have 2 channels to run now on top of, like, other work that I do outside of the YouTube stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time in my day to do this. And so I stopped doing it, and I got so much more productive. You don't even know. If I didn't need Twitter for like promotion and for, like, networking and stuff like that, I would have gotten rid of it long ago. It's dumb.
I started doing this thing where after 5 hours, so I'll make it, and then after 5 hours, I mute it so I don't get any notifications for it, because it takes about 5 hours for it to leak into the sickos timelines. And then they start coming after me. But if I mute it, I never see it, and I'm not even tempted to go after them. But I do get to interact with all my wonderful followers that I do appreciate, and I like spending. I like talking.
Let
to
them
them.
scream into the void. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's continue with what Alfred is saying. Meltzer's latest faux pas adds to a rough 2024, where the polarizing figure can't seem to go a month without creating controversy through his own reporting. The Rock issued a profanity-laced denial of a Meltzer report that suggested the WWE gave Rock favorable treatment when it came to cursing on the air. This story is complete horse, said the WWE legend and TKO board member in response to Meltzer's story. Rock found himself in the center of an undeniably incorrect report when Dave Meltzer confused, is what I was saying, a 2013 exchange between The Rock and Triple H with a 2024 Rock Triple H exchange during the WrestleMania 40 press conference. That is the one where I was like, does he have dementia? Because like they don't even they are clearly 10 years younger. Like, what are you doing?
It goes back to what you said earlier, being the first one to report on it, or striking while the iron is hot and finding out it's cool as ice. He's just he's lost it. And there are a lot of people calling him Dementia Dave now.
It does show you that he is a guy who runs a subscription website and has a newsletter and doesn't watch the shows either. Realize that, because he saw that clip online and thought it was from SmackDown or Raw and just posted about it, which means he didn't watch SmackDown or Raw. He's just picking up clips online and talking about it, which is fine when you're doing something like this. But when you're making your livelihood by reporting news and reviewing matches, maybe watch the shows that you're being paid to watch. That's maybe, and
that is why I open every Headlock headlines by saying, we're not journalists, we don't break news, and we're not a credible news source, because I don't want people to think that, because if we get something wrong, then, or if we inflate something or deflate something, it's for the purposes of comedy, because it's a comedy show,
Oh yeah.
So Meltzer said about that, the story I wrote in the Observer yesterday, I had seen this clip. Somebody sent me this clip of Dwayne and Paul Levesque face to face. Just call them The Rock and Triple H, you buffoon.
like he knows them on the first name basis.
You're not their friend. Stop it, Dwayne and Paul Levesque. Stop it. It was actually an old clip. It was an old clip. He said in the February 18th, 2024 broadcast for Wrestling Observer Radio, as soon as I found out, I took it out of the Wrestling Observer newsletter and apologetic about it. It was a mistake. And earlier this year, AEW star Jack Perry disputed Meltzer's report in the March 25th, 2024 Wrestling Observer that Perry apologized for his actions during the infamous Brawl In with CM Punk. Meltzer recently reported that WWE's backstage plans were to keep Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns apart for a while. Despite these reports, Fatu returned Friday on SmackDown to attack Roman Reigns. Dave Meltzer is an institution in the world of wrestling media, and as his journalistic batting average continues to erode, all he can do is keep swinging. That's a good ending quote. I like that. Good job, Alfred. It was a fantastic
shout out Alfred Konowa.
Yeah, he's going to be back on the show soon, probably in the next couple weeks. So
awesome.
looking forward to seeing him, guys. So then I wanted to point this out too, because did we lose this? All right, well, we lost this
for a second.
Yeah. Awful. I wanted to point this out to you as well, because there was a tweet that I saw the other day where I was like, no. Oh my God. Alyssa posting.
She did it.
She did it. She posted. I opened up Twitter and saw Alyssa posting the Dave Meltzer stuff in our group chat. Damn you.
Follow but why Alyssa on X. You won't be disappointed.
No, it's unless you post pictures of herself as Dave Meltzer.
Right.
All right. So for the low price of 85 pounds sterling, which is $110 US, you can purchase the Wrestling Observer 7-star VIP package to attend their Wrestling Observer live show the day of AEW All In.
If
There
you
it
Brits
is.
out there, give him softball questions, I'm going to be very disappointed
As will
in
I.
the UK.
As will I. Fans can purchase general admission tickets to see the show or can upgrade to our 7-star VIP tickets, which will guarantee early entry and the most prominent positions for the show, as well as a private meet and greet with Brian and Dave afterwards, including a photo with both guys and signatures from both guys as a memento as the biggest wrestling event taking place in the UK in 2020. The biggest wrestling event taking place in the UK in 2024. I love how they had to they had to dance around that. Good Lord.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. Like, come on, guys. First off, imagine the smell. Second off,
On a boat.
like, it's Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. These are niche players in the world of professional wrestling. And you are, go ahead.
Awful. If somebody was like, hey, you have to walk through this hallway to get to where you're going. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez are in that hallway, and they're going to say hi to you and shake your hand and try to take a picture with you. Or you can pay me $110 to take this other hallway that goes around Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, so with a point where you don't have to see them. I would probably consider paying the $110 to not meet Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, that's not a hard sell. But really, I mean, let's dive into this. What sort of information, what sort of gold mine is to be had with this this seminar, I guess? What are they going to show you? What are they going to teach you at this thing? Like, I would love to know if anybody's going there.
It's not a seminar, it's a fan, isn't it?
It's a meet and greet.
Oh, good Lord Almighty. We need to start our own meet and greet. $15, folks. You can meet us. How about that?
Oh,
You know why it's on a boat, right?
Why is that?
Why is it on a
Because
boat?
the implication.
What's the
They have to
implication?
resubscribe. It's always sunny. Come on, guys. Yeah,
Man.
I gotta rewatch that show. So I see that Kevin Apollo is here backstage, but he's not sitting at the computer right now.
We can interview his chair.
Hold on. Here he comes. Folks, directly from the beautiful Cape Cod, during Bear Week, the one and only Kevin Apollo.
He's wearing the Power Ranger suit. I
knew it. He's wearing a turtleneck.
We all said he's so covered up because it's Bear Week. and he's a big chocolate daddy in the middle of Bear Week.
He's like Bailey in Saudi Arabia right now.
The whole chat is losing its mind right now. The fact that you're coming up. How's it been going, Kev?
Oh, it's been fine. It's been delightful.
You have to say that because your wife's in the room?
No.
Yeah.
She's holding a frying pan right now, being like, my goodness. I am just so entertained. I'm like, I would buy tickets to watch Kevin Apollo navigate Bear Week.
Do you have your bear repellent, Kev?
Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to walk because of my foot, so I was able to skip it.
That's right. His woodle toe.
Oh, yes, big toe. Big toe, get it right.
Big toe. Oh my goodness.
I didn't get my pinky toe shot off.
Kev, we're looking for the video of you confronting that one bear, the furry bear, the actual bear. Okay, sweet.
I do have it. So hold on one second. I'm gonna send it to myself, and then there's a couple of them. There were a whole bunch of bear encounters, but I'll give you guys the one from that we did on Tooney Talk TV.
Are there any expletives?
No, we made sure.
Okay.
I think Kev, you're pretty much making sure to not expletive at the bear at this point, right?
Yes.
Because we're gonna play it on the show. Where is it? Hold on.
You can't find it, folks.
No, I can. Continue talking about Dave Meltzer. It's fine.
Yes, indeed. Kev, your thoughts about the gaffes and many lies of David Meltzer?
I mean, I got a hearty chuckle out of this guy having the audacity to charge anything more than $8 to sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you would say if somebody if he tried to approach you. I think it would be something like
Go right now. The hell out of here.
This is Max's favorite video.
Right now. Right the hell out of here.
I like how you ordered the bear as if it were your child.
Right.
But yes, $118 to meet these two idiots, to meet Captain and Stickley. Like,
oh my goodness.
I can't. Especially especially after the week that he's just had, wrongfully saying that Afa died. The whole situation with the value of AEW. Like, it is just absolutely disgusting the way he
AEW is worth infinity dollars.
Yeah. My source, trust me, bro.
AEW has a investor that he's a duck that happens to have a lot of money. Oh, Gutters McKilts, yet paying that flouncy pants how much money?
Oh, it's funny. I do have some insider information about the ROH transaction and why the number that Tony is saying may in fact be true.
Oh,
the 40 million?
20. It's closer to 20, but
even that is terrible.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's
so. The number that Ant gave us was pretty much what everybody with the same mind was saying, but there was
that was worthless.
Yeah. So, but there was a specific wrestler who had a money mark who was willing to offer. What was it? He was willing to offer $3 million for it. When Tony found out, he said, "Let's make it. I'll offer $10 million." And then in the interest of good faith, I'll actually tack on another 9.
Oh my God.
Just throwing money down the drain. Why don't you just light it on fire like the Joker did in The Dark Knight?
Now, Kev, is this because that there are there are superstars in their library? And does that give that a value? Like they've got the AJ Styles and the Rollins and all that.
I guess. I mean, I looked at it like this again, just like what Ann said. When you look at that if you do side by side comparison to ROH versus TNA, they started roughly around the same time, right? TNA always had superior production value versus those old ROH shows. Mm-hmm. It was just somebody with a handheld camera in terrible lighting. So. What are you going to do? Waste the money on upgrading someone's Christmas footage? It's not. There's no real value there. And those exact same guys are on TNA at the end of the day. So right. I think this was just an ego thing. This was just I liked this thing and I want it. And what's insane is you spent all that money and you didn't buy out all the contracts. All you got was the ring, the equipment, and sure you got the footage, but Honor Club wasn't making any money. Honor Club probably makes more money with everybody hating it. Mm-hmm. He just legit threw a bunch of money on fire so that he could have a brand new toy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is just that he wanted to, he was a fan of it, so he wanted to own it. It's incredible.
But for $20 million, did he not have any accountant around him when he was making these deals? Did he have anyone come up to him?
There's no way the accountants actually even try to talk to him anymore. It's
oh my God.
I think that when they see him coming, they just say,
Go! 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 Right now! The hell out of here.
We found our new sound drop.
We really did. All right, so a couple super chats to get to. John D. Lee for $2. Thank you very much. Says downward spiral equals Dave Meltzer. Also, Edge's original finishing maneuver there. BT23 for $10. TK, the way I would book Will and MJF 2, a draw. This is the match that I would have had MJF win, did the draw earlier. It makes MJF still a huge heel, and you could do third match in New York with possible Will win. I don't want to see a third match from them. But then again, I didn't want to see the first one, and I don't want to see the second one, but I'm going to have to. But yeah, I don't think there's a way.
You didn't want to. You know why you didn't want to see the second one? Because the first one wasn't interesting.
It was terrible.
That's all it takes.
Awful. I mean, it was terrible. I sat there and watched that match. I did a reaction for it on Patreon. And I was just like, I can't believe this is the match that everyone is like juicing themselves over. Like this match, this one, where anyone could kick out of 82 pile drivers.
Right.
Like Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat used to go out there for an hour and actually work. These guys were just hitting big moves on each other and kicking out.
And then he got knocked out by a diamond ring.
I know.
Like, good Lord.
The Canadian Destroyer didn't do it, but the diamond ring sure did.
Right.
But BT23, your booking is far more logically sound than Tony Khan. This is restarting his computer real quick, by the way, folks. He'll be back. Plenty and Pixel Art for $5. Welcome back to the show, my friend. Says, gamers are like that too. I'm the only gamer in my friends group who doesn't want to hear leaks, doesn't obsess over all the unknowns. I think what he's talking about, what I said about the wrestling fans needing to know everything before it happens, as opposed to like film fans who, if you tried to tell me what was going to happen in Avengers Endgame, I would have hit you with my car before it came out. But John JID 999 for $199 says, who's paying to talk to these absolute clowns? I'm sure not a lot of people. I can't imagine they've sold many of these tickets. But then again, there's a lot of very pathetic people out there whose lives rise and set around what this dumb old man says.
A lot of British podcasters credit Dave Meltzer. They see him as the second coming. And because Dave Meltzer is the only game in town to people who are in the UK as the most reputable source, you've got guys like Wrestle Talk and you name all these other UK podcasts. They love Dave Meltzer, and I'm almost assured that whoever's going to host this thing has got a British podcast. I don't understand the British people, man. They're a wacky bunch.
What the hell do they know? They conquered the world for spices and then decided they didn't want to use any of them.
Right.
My friend's like, you're in Universal. My friend's like, want to go eat the British food in the Harry Potter land? I'm like, no. Why on earth would I want to do that?
Their bangers and mash is pretty good.
Liga J81 for $5. Kevin was cosplaying Lord Zed against the Black Bear Ranger. Yes, he was. Oh my goodness.
Hey Kev, look behind you. There's a bear with a mustache behind you.
Oh my God. It's raining, man. JPS for $5 says, watch WWE buy out AEW for $2 million and Triple H redoing the Jeff Jarrett promo. He's double G, double O, double N, double E. God.
I think I've said this before. I believe that is Tony's eject button right there. If there is no deal, and there won't be a deal, I'm the only person that's saying it. Like there will not be a
there will
deal.
definitely be a deal. There will definitely be a
All
deal.
right,
Don't leave that
whatever
much
you
egg on
say
your
there,
face.
Marv.
Yeah, just
No,
like
no,
there
no,
was
no,
going to
no.
be no Texas Stadium show, and you were so hell bent on that. And
Oh,
then-
how dare you! Look at you trying to subvert the truth. I said that there'd be no show at AT&T Stadium, and that our boy Sean Ross Sapp had intimated that there would be.
He didn't say AT&T Stadium. Everybody else said
Oh,
AT&T
he did
Stadium.
exactly,
He said a
and that's
Texas
exactly
stadium.
what he's supposed to. That's exactly what he was going for.
Look, do
Okay.
you honestly think that Tony didn't go to AT&T Stadium to try to get it? Because I bet you he did.
Probably. I mean, he's an NFL guy. I mean, probably
He's-
talked to
he-
Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones was like, "Get the F out of here, bro."
Yeah, I'll take the meeting. I'll take the meeting because you're Shad's son. But
Yeah.
then get out of here. I'll take the meeting because you're Shad's son. But then after that,
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
I'll invest in your
Go.
bumpers,
Right
but
now.
as far as anything else,
Hell out of here.
yeah.
I
mean,
never get tired of it. We got another one coming in. LC Killer 17 for $2 says, I think something bad will happen at All In. I do too. AEW matches will be performed in the ring. So
that was pretty good.
the bad thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have to watch it because we are going live this Sunday for AEW All In.
Be sure to be there. Because
Going live-
if you can't watch the show, you can listen to us rag on it because that's exactly what's going to happen.
We are going live we are going live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna watch all 11 billion hours of it.
Is this Saturday into Sunday?
No, it's just Sunday. Alyssa checking in for $5 Australian says I have to be up at 1 a.m. if I want to watch All In live. I don't know about that one. I don't know if they've made it worth it for me yet. Oh, you could always appear on your friend's live stream and sit there
fall
with
asleep
us
to it.
Yeah. to the dulcet tones and
right.
laugh a little bit.
We'll be sure to whisper a little bit.
I had a lot of fun during our SummerSlam stream. I had so much fun.
Because the event was fun.
Well, no, but I had fun because we were watching it together and we were all commenting on it and we were all like reacting to things. I think this one is going to be fun in a very different way.
Yeah.
But
and don't get us wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We will give this thing a fair shake. We're wrestling fans.
Look, my friend WW Pro says on his channel, we call balls and strikes, and I've adopted that as well. We call balls and strikes here. When there's something good, it will be something good. And Craig Churchill for $5 Canadian says, I used to enjoy the Brit channels like Cultaholic, but got turned off when they started kissing Meltzer's ring, and I don't mean the one on his finger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I agree. And what culture, Cultaholic, they are just up Tony Khan's bum. Like they are just all about AEW. It is the way they cover both WWE and AEW and the discrepancies in the reporting. It's insane. And I can't do those British wrestling channels anymore.
It's sad because they used to
Meltzer
be fun. They used to be fun channels that just kind of had lists and did that kind of stuff. And then suddenly I kind of get what culture though, because WWE did kind of put their wrestling company out of business. So I get why they'd be kind of salty about it, but the rest of them, I don't understand. And granted, it will probably change when WWE does WrestleMania in London. I imagine they will switch over because they want access, just the same way they did, So
all right. So moving along, the
Hey, before you dive in, will there be any assistance provided by Blackballed the Pirate?
I look, that's between you and your God, but I am not. We do not advocate for, nor do we participate officially in piracy here on this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to have a discussion about rum and scurvy with a pirate.
Now, look,
I
the
don't
the AEW fans, the ones that want AEW to succeed, they're the ones that typically pirate all the shows. I will actually be purchasing the show. So I really hope I make it back in Super Chats because it goes against my long-held rule about giving Tony Khan money. By the way, this big here, Alyssa says, all right, all in. If I am awake, I will join the stream. Please endeavor to keep me awake. All right, we are going to make that happen. We're going to have to put her on the thumbnail now.
Right. We're gonna have to yell the entire time.
BT23 for $2 says All In Texas and Arlington holds 40K. Shocked if sellout. Which yeah, that's I would be shocked. Hold on, I got one more super chat and then wow, they're coming in now. I'm not complaining about it. Alejandro Melendez says, damn it, Kevin, you missed my super chat. It was a good one too. I'm gonna go back and see if I can find. Do I still have it? Yes, he said, rejoice, Tuxedo Dom faced Zoisite Priest, and when things seemed bleak, Moonlight Finn and his merry men helped him. Queen Rhea tried to interfere, but Liv the Fair hit her with the scepter of love. I told you guys, Kevin, one of the first things you and I bonded over was Sailor Moon. Real men.
I still have to tell that.
Real men.
I still have to tell that Sailor Moon story on Thursday. Going to a comic book convention and meeting meeting someone and thinking that it was going to go well, and then being trapped in her basement.
What? Fighting evil by moonlight.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh my goodness. Ravens fan,
I have so many questions.
for $5 says, I have a super chat question for Puppet Triple H. Did you fire Bobby Lashley last night because Bobby had a better looking bald head than you? I don't know who this Bobby Lashley is, but the only person I got rid of recently was that damn big Booker T.
He shaved his dreads.
Let me tell you something.
Alopecia T.
Let me tell you something. He shaved off those dreads, and I took one look at that head shining, glistening in the moonlight, and I said, not around here, bucko, buddy boy. Just like I wouldn't let anyone have long hair back in the early 2000s when I had long hair. I was going to be gosh darned if I was going to let somebody have a better bald head than me.
Is Tripp looking at the stream because he can see Bobby Lashley right in the corner? I mean, sorry, big Booker T is on our stream right now.
Yeah, he did mention that earlier in the cold open. So, oh my goodness! All right,
okay. So can we go back to that super chat real quick about All In Texas?
Yes, I do want to talk about that. So that'll be that's our next topic here. AEW holding All In 2025 and Texas at what's the stadium they're doing it in?
Oh man, I
forgot. What's it called? It's where the Rangers play. It's the baseball stadium.
Yeah, it's a 40K Major League Baseball stadium. And here's the thing. Everyone's taking this as this huge win. Oh, this is great. This is amazing. It's a 40K stadium. They're downgrading from a 90K stadium to a 40K stadium. Why are we acting like this is a good thing? Yeah. At the end of the day, they realized do you think Tony has the wherewithal to realize that he's not going to be able to draw even 50,000 people to next year's All In? So Globe Life Field, that's the name of it. So he had to go. Or do you think they've got the WWE WrestleMania plans going now, and Triple H is like, there will be no big wrestling show in this stadium for 2 years before we get there? I think the latter is more possible.
I think it's possible. I think this is more of Tony saying, "Oh yeah, you're going to talk to Triple H." Well, I'm good. Like he thinks he's playing a trump card.
I'm going to go to a building that's half the size. That'll show you.
And I think a lot of people are saying they're not going to fill it. I think they can. I think they can fill that. I think they can fill that for this show. A lot of these people, like, it's an event, like they're not going to buy the pay-per-view. They're not going to show up when it comes to their town. But I think a lot of these guys will make the pilgrimage, so to speak. It's a mission, right? It's a mission. It's not about enjoying the show. It's not about being a fan of AEW. It's about sticking it to the Fed.
Yeah.
And they can,
Well, and they've proven
absolutely
that they'll
rally
do
the
that. They,
troops.
they did it
Yeah.
with the first, with Cody and the Bucks doing the first All In, and or was that All Out? I don't remember. But they did it in Wembley, and now they're going to do it here. I do think they will fill 40K.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
there's a world of difference between the American market and the UK market. The only reason that a UK show sold was because they were fresh out of their insane beer bug restrictions, and they don't get events. People were just happy to have something to do.
Yeah.
We're going to Texas where there's plenty to do. They can't put 2,500 people into a building. So
right in Arlington.
So this delusion that they're gonna find 20,000 or 40,000, it's insanity. This product is as cold as Natalie Wood, still fresh out of the lake.
Good Lord.
I'm sorry. It's just it is lifeless. So yeah, I'm all for watching the attempt and waiting for the copium to flow like it's a reboot of the Boxer Rebellion. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening.
I just don't think we can look at this as a regular show. I think because when you get their diehard fans who are going to say, you know what? Yeah, let's fill that. That's what they do. They don't watch week to week. They don't go to the regular shows. They pirate the pay-per-views. But when they can stick it to the Fed, when they can make a statement and be the big, they'll do it. And that's why I think I don't think it says anything about their business. I don't think it says anything about how successful they are. I think it's the one day a year that they can get on the megaphone and herd them all into the building and make a big point of it. And then the next day they'll go back to 1,000 seats in 10,000 seat arenas. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with you last year.
For
the event after Wembley. What did they do last year?
Oh God, All Out
Chicago.
That was all Out Chicago with no CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
All Out.
I want to say they did like 8. I want to say they did like 8. I know that the Dynamite afterwards was terrible. Like the ratings were bad and the attendance.
So this says 2023 All Out Wrestling event at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, an attendance of 9,826.
So they got 9,000 in a hotbed, right? And we're talking about going to Texas in the summer.
Yeah,
but it's an air conditioned stadium. I mean, like I said, I'm not one to defend AEW. I'm not saying that they're going to suddenly be on an upswing and do great and fill the stadium. I'm saying that there's enough of their fans who will see this as a statement. And they will want to make that the same way they did, like All In last year,
Alyssa says, I think they have a fair shot, a shot at filling up a fair chunk of the Texas stadium. These rumors about an Australian stadium show, though, LOL, insane. That is insane because they're not going to fill a stadium in Australia. I really don't think that's going to happen.
Why wouldn't they even? First off, it would be stupid of them to even do such a thing. Get a small little gymnasium. Test your markets, just like you always should be testing your markets, these new markets. You already killed Texas, and I don't care what you guys say. Yeah, they can fill 40,000 seats, but will they? No. Weren't they in Arlington for like a stretch already? And the attendance numbers were dwindling down.
Yeah,
and now you're expecting me, because they've got great AC, that they're going to fill 40,000 seats in the stadium?
It's not about Arlington. It's about everyone. It's about all the little neckbeards all around America converging on one place for one time, so they can all say they did it.
Okay. How about Arthur Ashe Stadium? As that dwindled down to nothing, that was a big deal, wasn't it?
Doesn't that have sold like 3,000 tickets for this year? Like not even 4.
Indeed, yes.
But once Tony started doing All In, he stopped pushing Arthur Ashe. He stopped caring about it, and this is his new thing. He cares about it. And so he cares about it. So he'll put all his energy in that. He'll care less about his weekly shows, which will continue to do terribly. It's a sign of how bad of a businessman he is, that he can produce, that he has the ability to draw these people and to make a show successful. He has the ability to do it, but he just can't. It's because he gets so focused on one thing, and that's all he cares about, and he forgets about everything else. And that,
So in other words, he doesn't have the ability to do it. I mean,
right, yeah.
it's 5 years now, gentlemen. How much longer? How much longer? Seriously, we got to start looking at this for what it is. And attendance going down, ratings going down, stars leaving or getting injured left and right. This is not working. This is a failed experiment.
But Tony will keep it going as long as he has the money to do it. I don't think he cares about if it's successful. I don't care if he cares about if he makes a dime doing it. That's why he's willing to rent out all, the stadium, Wembley. He's willing to pay to rent it out and make a little bit of money on the back end after travel, after expenses, after promotions, which he's not getting any help for. Just to be.
Alyssa gave us more money tonight than what Tony Khan made at All In last year.
Well, yeah, it is ridiculously expensive to run Wembley Stadium. So, yeah. Take a look at this. A little under 1/3 of AEW's UK audience has voted with their wallets that they are no longer interested with the brand's biggest show of the year. The only thing softening the blow is AEW's apparent anticipation of that drop-off. Translation, AEW knows that it's killing the town. And this was from Gene Baradelli, and he tagged us in it. And take a look. The WrestleTix right here. Available tickets. There's still 4,474 tickets available because they only opened up 53,832, and tickets distributed were 49,358.
Taylor Swift.
It's that Taylor Swift. Oh no.
Which is bullshit as well, because apparently she's leaving two or 3 days. Like, I think she's leaving tonight. And now they go ahead.
No, I was using their excuse, but they can't. It's impossible to take down that stage in 2 days. Awful. How are they going to do it?
if only they made these stages that they put up for temporary events to be able to come apart easily.
In less than 5 hours, it can be done.
Of course, it can
if
be
WWE
done.
was there, it'd be in less than 2. Okay.
Yeah.
The WrestleMania stage gets set up like a day or two before WrestleMania, and it's gone a day or two later. Like it's not even, like, stop it. And also, why would you book your event that close to the Taylor Swift concert if it's going to take away 30,000 seats from you? And of course, it's also taking away 30,000 seats, apparently, if you want to go by their fake number from last year.
Yeah. I love that Tony and them, like, the fans are using Taylor Swift as an excuse, but like Tony is kind of skirting around it because he doesn't want to get the Swifties on AEW.
Oh, that's something you don't want.
Grayson Waller is the only guy who's ever survived that, by the way.
If you think AEW fans are bad, hell hath no fury like a Swiftie scorned.
Jeff Jarrett will be world champion by the end of the week if they trigger the Swifties.
Cheer for me!
Hey, look, she comes to my house. She babysat my kids. Isn't she great?
John JID 999 for 199. AEW has not restored the feeling one bit, and he's right.
Nope.
The restore the feeling thing always gets me because I'm always like, you have not been around long enough to have nostalgia. You've been around for 5 years. There's no restoring the feeling. You've not existed long enough to have eras of wrestling.
Yeah, like, this isn't. Oh, sorry.
The rated R era.
This isn't like Todd Gordon leaving ECW and then the tone of it changed, or like we went from Eastern to Extreme. It's goofy. It's been the same. Yeah, it's really been the same show since the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, does Jeff Jarrett actually have a connection to Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
What is this? I don't remember this.
You don't know this? Taylor Swift was actually on a couple episodes of TNA. She was his nanny.
Was she really?
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Hell no.
Yes, Taylor Swift. Yeah,
they're actually still very close.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Jeff Jarrett would be world champion, and you know what? The world would be better for it.
It would.
Do you guys want to preview this All In card before we, dive into it on Sunday, just to kind of get
Please,
a taste
because
of
I
what
don't know
we're in
one
for?
effing match.
Okay, don't
All
go
right.
over the 0 hour because we'll be here until 3:00 in the morning.
I
So
know,
just
I and we're not going to be watching that. Don't worry.
no.
And before
no.
we
Start a half
go
hour
on,
before the show.
didn't they start off with like having 6 at least passable matches that they had storylines built in, and like over the course of like last week, they just started adding more matches?
There are 10 matches on this
Oh
show.
my God in heaven.
And by the way, this is also, they announced a match with MJF and Daniel Garcia, and then unannounced it, and then announced a match with MJF and Will Ospreay.
Oh, yeah.
So they've already gone through cycles of storytelling here.
Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. The winning team will choose the stipulation of the match
Bless
between
you.
Nightingale and Statlander at All Out. Mixed tag team match. So there you go. You excited about this one, gentlemen?
I like Chris.
I'm a
Statlander.
big fan of. I like Willow Nightingale. Again, like Jade Cargill, she's in the wrong league. You got to get her out of there. But yeah, I mean, hey, they want a paycheck, they're going to get one.
I like Stokely Hathaway too. I think they're three out of 4 of those people I really like. But
Have you seen his stand up? He is the most unfunny Negro I've ever seen in all my life.
Yeah, I can't say that, but yes.
Match number 2, Timeless Tony Storm versus the Glamour Mariah May, singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. So yeah, Tony Storm in the ring. People seem to like what she does. I have not enjoyed her since she made the Cody Rhodes comment, but yeah, I mean, it's that one should be painless, right?
I've appreciated that storyline since Mariah turned. Since it stopped being all about HLA and it started actually having a point to it.
Okay.
I thought did a pretty decent job. I mean, by the way, I'm grading on a curve for AEW, but just to make that clear. But
by the way,
think
I would like to point out that there's 10 matches here, and all of them are for a championship or a shot at a championship or a stipulation involving a championship.
And they still have 2 number 1 contenders
With the
on
exception,
deck.
with the exception of the mixed tag match. That's the only one that is not connected in some way to a championship match. Yeah.
Yeah, they still owe Darby Allin and someone else title matches too. So
Okay.
Oh my God.
MJF versus Will Ospreay singles match for the AEW American Championship. How much time do you think they give this?
a lot.
It's probably got to go
A
at least
lot.
45, right? Because if the match on TV went an hour.
It's the real
Yeah.
main event. I mean, if it wasn't for the feels of
do you
Daniel
think-
of Brian
Do you think
Danielson,
it closes? Do you think it closes because of Will?
No, because it could be Brian Danielson's last match. I mean, Tony's a mark for Brian
Nope.
Danielson.
Nope.
Um,
I see Will and MJF closing.
Okay.
For some reason, the British Bulldog and Bret Hart come to mind.
oh
And
yeah,
I think he wants to emulate that just a little bit, the hometown boy, winning it.
you
Yep,
guys might.
you're gonna see it.
You guys might get on me for this, but this MAGA MJF character is kind of growing on me a little bit.
No.
How so? Please explain yourself.
I like the idea of they've done the thing before where somebody is a face in America and a heel somewhere else, right? And they've done the thing before where they have foreigners coming into America with like the Rougeaus and they act like they love America, but everyone hates them for it. I've never really seen it done where someone is pro-America but a heel in America and a heel everywhere else at the same time, and yet when he's out of the country, he acts like he is a heel in the States despite the fact that he isn't. You know what I mean? Like he acts like everyone loves him and everything, and they don't. Like his character is. I'm not saying that I enjoy the
He's just an
sophomoric stuff part.
He's just an edgelord. All he does.
There you
is
have
like-
it.
That's what I don't like about it.
It's what outrageous thing can I say this week? Oh, your grandma's dead.
Right, and that stuff I'm not a fan of. The stuff
I
on
like-
Twitter and all that. But
and-
like, if you actually watch the clips of him being a heel in other countries I like that part of it.
Well, and the gold, and like the Bret Hart British Bulldog thing. That's just gonna piss off Bret Hart.
oh, you got a guy named Friedberg going up against, trying to be me when a guy named Goldberg ended my career, Bill Goldberg. Any excuse for a Bret Hart Bill Goldberg joke. Jack Perry versus Darby Allin coffin match for the AEW TNT Championship. Does WWE have casket match trademarked?
Probably.
Coffin match.
Maybe.
Why a coffin match? Why a casket match for this?
Because
Like-
Darby Allin does the coffin drop
Yeah, coffin drop.
move.
Look, nobody.
And he's spooked.
It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I hate it.
Did you see the new championship belt that?
Yes. Where we were led to believe that Jack Perry made it himself. Jack Perry has never done a hard day's work in his life.
I gotta say, if
He
they took
forged
the-
it himself.
If they took
Yeah.
the red out of that belt, though, that belt would go kind of hard. I think the
You got-
red messes
No, it
it
wouldn't.
up.
Because
I
did you
like
see
it.
the side place? There's nothing's going on with him.
Oh, I didn't see
You-
that. I just saw the front.
Oh my
So-
God! It's almost like a third grade project. Now he did extensive work with the main plate, but as far as then he tried to be like Basquiat, or he tried to be like Picasso, like let me just sprinkle some red paint on it. It
Bob
looks so
Ross.
gee. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob Ross.
Because I do like
It just
the
wasn't
idea-
working.
Put
I
a
do
happy
like the
little
idea of a
blood
black
splatter
belt.
here.
I do like the idea of a black belt. I like the idea of it looking like black steel, kind of tough. I like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't notice that there weren't.
Shout out,
plates that
counselor.
Red.
The black belt doesn't get pushed.
Black steel.
Right.
Counselor's
The,
name, black steel. Call him that.
But how about like the idea that he's got the smelting cup and he's like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like I look at him and I just immediately think of the quote from Jaws, like, you got city hands, Mr. Hooper. You've been counting money all your life.
It's not even a precious metal either. It's like what was that?
Yeah.
Aluminum? Like you've devalued your own belt.
If Jack Perry actually did that, he'd wear a hairnet so he didn't get liquid steel in his hair the whole
Right.
time.
Right. And is he trying to get away with like doing the Raven character, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what he's going for?
That's 100% what he's going for, and it's I hate it because I love Raven.
Cringe.
I love Raven.
Cringe.
You remember that
Mercedes
video I sent
Monet.
you that was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just said that. I sent that video that was comparing him to Raven, and it was like,
Yeah, and I
some
hated
weird
that.
tribute video. Yeah, I know it was fun.
Mercedes Monet with Camille versus Dr. Britt Baker DMD singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. This might actually be a decent match.
Let's hear your thoughts on this, Marv.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Because I'd love to hear this.
Look, Mercedes is complete cringe in on the mic, but she can work a match and she can carry people to a good match.
What?
She
Thank
can
you,
work a good match. You can't take that away from her. She's always
Tell him,
worked a good match.
She can't carry anybody. She can't even carry a bucket of water. What are you talking about?
Maybe I'm being.
She is a spot monkey who has been carried by better people, aka Sasha, Charlotte, Becky.
She is Sasha.
Paige. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Charlotte. Charlotte, Becky, Paige. Have you seen her outside of WWE matches? They are varying degrees of wrong abortions. It is miserable, and that god awful bag of garbage finisher that she keeps insisting on jamming down everybody's throat. Dude, she stinks.
Yeah.
She's
Marv,
the pile of dung from of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, honestly, Marv, I respect how brave you are, because if I had to take that bad, I would have just kept it to myself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been
Marv,
able to.
that was stunning and brave.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'm thinking of Sasha Banks from years ago, but I don't know.
More specifically, Takeover Brooklyn, because that's
You
the
know what?
only match that
You know what? Maybe-
maybe
Maybe
Go
I
ahead.
got a little too close to the crystals, and they started to.
She's very
Yeah,
mean.
put down the
That might
opal.
have something to do.
She is very mean. I have heard that. I have heard she's really mean.
Yeah.
All right, next match, the Casino Gauntlet. A gauntlet
Oh.
match for the future AEW World Championship, for a future AEW World
What?
Championship match. This sounds awful because this is a 10-match card and this is going to be a 40-minute match. A gauntlet match.
With who? Name
I
these
don't know.
participants.
Everyone
Oh, they
else.
don't have them? Yeah, right.
They don't have them listed because it's nobody you care about. We need the Conan disco sound effect. The who.
Yeah, really. It's catering on the left side versus catering on the right side.
Right. Maybe Keith Lee will get a
Wardlow will
payday
show
out of
up.
it. Yeah.
Wardlow and Brian Cage will show up to not win.
We got
Archer will be there
Oh,
probably.
and Archer.
It's so dumb because they already have two. They have two people that have already earned title shots that are awaiting their title shots, and now they're adding a third to that.
well, that's got to be Adam Page, right? Like that's who this has got to be for. The cowboy.
Yeah, I would assume.
Oh god.
Oh,
all right. Moving along.
Now.
Yeah. Moving along, Chris Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith versus Hook. A last chance match for the FTW Championship. If Hook loses, he can never challenge for the FTW Championship for as long as Jericho is the champion. This is still going on.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you see everybody laughing?
Certainly is.
Last week,
who were they laughing at?
They laughed at Hook during the promo last week.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Kind of terrible promo.
It was just one of those stupid. I don't know. When you got to be
Tony Schiavone. Yeah, Tony Schiavone asked him, "How's the eye?" And it was library quiet right before Hook answered. And when he answered, he said, "Tony, I can't see out of my eye." And you could hear chuckling going on in the background, as if he told a Nick DiPaolo joke.
You can. you can hear individual people. If somebody at one of these shows just yelled out Tooney Town Wrestling in the middle of one of these promos, you'd hear it on TV. I'm not saying to do that, folks.
That's awesome.
If Dave LaGreca can get a giant head, we need a giant Marv head to pop up in the AEW crowd.
Definitely. That would be awesome.
Tony would have you executed. The Chris Jericho stuff. I mean, he's so bad. I cannot believe how bad he is. I saw a clip from him the other day where he was complaining about the writers for WWE, and he's like, I can write a better pro wrestling story than any of these people because I've been in the business for 32 years. I'm like, yeah, okay. That doesn't mean you're creative.
No,
it doesn't mean
you're only relevant for 20 of them. Actually, 10 of them.
There's a weird genius to him I'm talking politically.
Okay, I got slammed.
Yeah.
For saying Mercedes Moné had good matches. Are we really going to let calling Chris Jericho a genius stand?
Oh,
no.
Let him finish, because I don't disagree with the fact that there's a genius in Jericho. I just think Jericho needs someone to tell him to shut the hell up.
Yeah, he is able to create gimmicks to where he can do terrible, terrible things and be awful in the ring and be awful on the mic. And then turn around and say, it's part of the gimmick. And if you don't get it, that's your fault. Like,
they're not gimmicks.
So how's that genius, Dis? You still haven't explained yourself.
No.
Having a new catchphrase is not a new gimmick. If that
hi guys. Hi.
If that were the case, The Rock would have 8,000 gimmicks. Remember when The Rock's gimmick was the lobster's left testicle? Like it would,
what I'm saying is
calling yourself a wizard and stuff like that. That's not a gimmick. All right, sorry,
Jericho is not trying to get new fans. He is trying to give the fans that he does have ammo against the people who don't like Chris Jericho. And he's doing that very well because he's terrible. And I think he knows he's terrible now. I think he knows it. I think he understands that he has no ability to be relevant or be good in the ring. So what does he do? Now he just says, hey, you know what? If you don't like it, that's because that's my gimmick. You're not supposed to like it. If you're complaining about that, that's my gimmick. So you're not. So like all of his fans have this weird deflection thing that they can do.
Nah, I'm not buying it. Not buying it, bro.
You're making it like he's some evil mad scientist. Now hook the preteen. Feel the wrath of my gimmicinator.
You know what my gimmick is going to be?
I saw that, Erica. That's why I decided to go with the voice.
Yeah, this is not a compliment. This is not a comp. This is him. This is all cope, but he's able to build cope into his gimmick somehow, and it's weird. You know.
Oh, I thought you were going to use the other word, the other W word, like it's working, because it isn't. Let me have a gimmick where everybody changes the channel all at once.
But what
like,
he does,
give me a break.
Hi guys. He's able to do the same thing Tony Khan does, though, which is not gain any fans, but empower the fans that he already has.
I heard that.
Allegedly.
Okay, it took a second. But he's empowering the fans that he already has, and it's just annoying for people who aren't fans.
How many fans does he still have?
There's enough that whenever I post about him, I get people to say, "You just don't understand his gimmick." And that's what I'm saying he's done. He has armed them
that is him.
He has armed them with a built-in defense, and it's annoying. But if you are on that side, then you're like, man, he's so smart and clever. So there is something to be said about.
So this is like 5D trolling. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Not even 5D. It's not 5D. He's just empowering his own fans because he knows he can't get it anymore. So he might as well make the ones that he has, feel like they're part of something. Kind of.
I think we officially are at a point where we have got to change the name of what's called X-Pac Heat, which is, go home heat, to Jericho Heat. I think X-Pac has suffered long enough. I think we can now officially start. Yeah, and he redeemed himself. I think we can officially start calling it Jericho Heat now. Kevin, you're muted.
I'm for it.
I'm talking to Reagan.
Oh, okay. Yes, he's that level.
But yeah,
of
he's terrible.
But
just absolute terrible.
Okay, so
I'm talking to the spirit of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
to help me get through this trip.
well, Kevin, you just have to hold on. What was I saying again? It doesn't go away once you cross over to the other side. That was a dark joke. The Young Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed in a 3-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Oh, this match is going to be the death of me.
Mm-hmm. I see the Young Bucks going over on this one because he lost last year.
You think? And they're gonna pin FTR. Yeah. Like it's
Now they're gonna pin the Acclaimed.
Oh yeah, they'll pin the Acclaimed actually.
The lesser known guy.
I thought it was impossible to make me dislike someone as much or any team as much as I dislike the Young Bucks, and yet somehow the Acclaimed and FTR have made me do that. I can't stand any of these teams. This is a negative, like in terms of enjoyment for me. I have no desire to see the Acclaimed. I have no desire to see FTR anymore. Dax has he's a parody of a parody at this point. It's oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Talk about a guy who ruined his gimmick online.
And we're gonna talk about Dax next because he's just out of control. But so the next one, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne. With Mother Wayne versus Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Allison Gunn, and Colton Gunn versus House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus the Wild Card winners. And that is going to be a 4-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championships. Oh, God help me.
If this was just House of Black and the Bang Bang Gang, great. That sounds really good. In a ladder match, those two teams going together, totally fine. But why do you have to load it up with everyone else on the roster? I don't get it.
Christian is 50 years old. Do you think he's going to get out there and look up at those belts and look at the ladders and the tables around the ring and just be like, how am I back here again?
And who exactly? Okay, so who are the champions? Because on the website, Mama Wayne was listed as one of the trios champions.
Well, she's not
Oh
in the
my
in the
God.
match. So,
So-
yeah, that all the people that will hate on Judge Judy Bagwell will love that Mama Wayne is 1/3 of the trios championship. But just look at this: the AEW World Championship, the AEW World Trios Championship, the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the FTW Championship, the TBS Championship, the TNT Championship, the American Championship, the Women's World Championship. Just how many championships do you need?
Yeah.
He thinks
At
it
what-
offers legitimacy to his company, and it doesn't.
Listen, it's participation trophy wrestling. That's why none of this matters.
You guys
So-
heard what oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. But there was Mark Henry said, listen, these guys don't, I'm paraphrasing, but these guys don't take advice, or they don't get advice from the agents anymore. Everybody's
course
just
they don't.
doing their job now.
Of course they don't.
And it shows.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are the over? So now we also have a possibility of Bobby Lashley coming in. We have a possibility of Ricochet. There's people saying Adam Copeland's coming back, and then Dave said that Eddie Kingston might come back, who's supposed to be gone for like a year.
We just saw Eddie Kingston on his couch in like a cast.
And
Looking
Meltzer
just
said-
like JD from New York.
I'm sorry. There's no way on God's green earth that Eddie Kingston is put in the rehab gym time necessary.
No.
Opening a bag of Doritos is not rehab.
No, I can see Adam Copeland. Maybe he has the fortitude that he can kind of get it done. Maybe he shows up. I'm assuming Ricochet will be there, but I don't know.
Really?
I'm assuming.
I think Ricochet's a definite.
And then Lashley,
I'll take that bet.
He's been in the Pokeball since he left WWE.
Yeah,
Huh.
I'm not sure it'll be here, though.
The second he was a wild Ricochet, Tony Khan jumped out of the tall grass and flung the Pokeball at him.
I'm just not sure it'll be.
Sorry.
You think? Wait, go ahead, Kev.
I think Tony lost that battle to Samantha Irving's thirst traps.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, is that woman gorgeous. All right, so Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana versus Bryan Danielson. Title versus Korea for the AEW World Championship. Now, do you think Tony puts the belt on Danielson?
If he's smart, no.
I think he wants to. I think he really wants to.
I think Danielson wants out.
Brain Damageson.
Yeah.
Who said that?
That was
Who's
Rick
responsible
Roberts.
for that?
That was Rick Roberts in the chat. I do glance
Oh
at the
my
chat every
God.
once in a while.
Yeah, I think he really, really wants to, and I think he's tried as hard as he can to talk Danielson into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will, but I don't know because Danielson shouldn't be in the ring. Danielson shouldn't have been wrestling for the past year, so who knows anymore? I mean, it's. The idea would be no, he doesn't win the title. Swerve keeps it because he needs to fight Hangman Page at the next pay.
Again.
Yes.
I was just about to curse.
But there's with Tony, there's always a chance that the Mark's going to win. There's always a chance, So this is impossible to call really because, like I said before, I can see Tony pulling a reverse screw job and having the ref just count to 3 at some point, or saying this, or have Swerve submit when he wasn't supposed to, just because they want Danielson to retire with the title. That's how much of a mark Tony is. That's how much of a mark he is.
But how much of a mark is Bryan Danielson to fall for that? Kev, you're a performer of professional wrestling, probably still in professional wrestling, booking and promoting. Don't you want to put as much heat on Swerve Strickland as humanly possible? You stretcher that Bryan Danielson right out of Wembley. You do what they did with Bronson Reed a couple weeks ago. Just attack. Get that heat back on Swerve Strickland. Now you've got a champion that at least you want to watch, see what he's going to do next.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
One would think, but my stance on this match is who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter who has the belt. No one cares. It's not do anything for anybody. Who cares? They're just throwing it around. It's a prop toy. It's just there to be sparkly on TV. There's no real prestige behind it.
It's just a matter to me of, is Danielson going to get hurt?
Probably.
Every time he steps in the ring, there's a 60 to 70% chance he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, probably.
If he didn't get hurt during Osprey, he's not gonna get hurt with Swerve.
And then there's an 80% chance they're gonna fake that he's hurt. So
Right, because
that's what they love to do.
Now they know that you'll believe that he got hurt. So
Mhm.
You know who's gonna be on the show probably in the gauntlet is Hologram. Are you guys excited about Hologram? I know everyone loves Hologram. He's very over.
So super chat. Dashing Purpool says 10 matches people will forget the next day. Very true.
Always.
Paul Triantos for $10. I believe that's $10 A. I don't know if that's Australian. I don't know. AEW is on ESPN2 on a streaming service. I flew to Perth for WWE. I guess it is Australia. With my 11-year-old and loved it. No one knows AEW, so there's no faith. Plus, who's going to grind all the way here to do the promos? That's 100% accurate. They sent Grayson Waller to Down Under when the WWE, and that's the thing. WWE just drew huge in Australia, and that's why Tony thinks he can do it now, because he thinks they're on the same level.
Isn't Kyle Fletcher Australian? Kyle Fletcher, isn't he?
I don't care.
Who?
I legitimately don't care.
Who?
Kyle Fletcher's a good wrestler. I'll give him that. He's good.
All right. Good for him. But yeah, no, I agree with that. The people nobody knows what AEW is in Australia other than Paul and Alyssa. So maybe you guys will be there. I doubt that Alyssa's gonna go all the way to an AEW show in Australia. I know she went to the one in Perth, but
she said that was torturous as well.
Yeah,
Tony Storm.
John JID 999 for 199. Can you all explain what Max Caster is doing? Offending people? I don't know. His last rap where he said something along the lines of bury them like an immigrant or something like that.
I'm gonna put you in the ground like an immigrant in Texas.
It
was the one.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh well, he's just saying these things. No. Tony Khan made it a point to say that he personally approves all Max Caster's raps.
Except the ones that he doesn't. Except when he went after Vince, he said, "Oh, I missed that one." And then what was the other one that he missed?
No, he didn't. Miss.
I know, but he said that. What was the other one that he said he missed? It was
I don't know. Some other stupid thing. Budget John Cena. But these Max Caster rants. Now, look, at the end of the day, you're guys gonna be like, Marv, I thought you were against cancel culture, blah blah blah. I am. And I'm against political correctness. I don't have a problem with, using stuff like that to get heat. What I have a problem with is rampant hypocrisy. Because if John Cena said that on Raw, the AEW fans would be climbing over the arena trying to break in because they'd be so enraged. It would be the scandal of the century. But when Max Caster says it, they're utterly silent. And your morals should not change based on what company you're supporting. Also, Alyssa's just thirsty for Jay White.
Me too.
Where's he? Yeah.
Go ahead, Kevin. What were you saying?
I was like, two things. So one, Max is incredibly talented. He does have a lot of musical skills. So wasting his ability on these silly, clickbait shock and awe, or shock corn raps. It's stupid. You're not leveraging him to the best of his ability.
It's just more edgelord stuff.
Absolutely, that's 100% what it is. And then the other side of it is, hey, remember this time last year when Jack Perry came out and said that his girlfriend, that nobody knows who she is, said that she was the hottest bee in wrestling. You know damn well that if anybody had walked out on WWE TV and referred to any of the women on the roster or someone during the Diva era as as a hot bee. Oh, that he was banging the hottest bee in wrestling. If he had walked, anybody had said that, they would have been up in arms, burning down towns and demanding someone's head.
Yep.
So it's another reason why no one takes AEW or their fans seriously.
Spontaneous compulsion for £5 sterling says, I thought this said this is all Coke, not Cope for Jericho. Thought Coke actually made sense. Yeah, it did. It's all Coke for Jericho.
He's too fat for that.
That's true. He would do it in Coke. He'd be a lot thinner. Maybe that's how he got thinner when Black Twitter roasted him.
Remember he started bulking up when he thought he was going to go back to the Fed. The Fed.
Oh yeah, and then Vince got ousted, and Triple H was like,
Yeah.
I don't think so, Cal.
Yeah.
Did we ever explain Cal on?
We talked about Excalibur, bro.
Excalibur, bro. We could have been great together, Cal. And then finally, Craig Churchill for $2 Canadian says Doofenshmirtz sounds like Piper and Skeletor mated. Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that one. All right. So this show, we are going to watch it, unfortunately. But let's talk a bit about FTR, who will be on the show. Because, the FTR continues to just prove they are the softest team in wrestling with every move they make. Let me find the tweet that I'm looking at. Here we go. So, go over to this tab. FTR bald crying about JD from New York. So, FTR bald says, I had a whole response written out, but I decided to go with he's a dumb son of a bitch. After we broke our bodies for 30 minutes only to give the fans a match they'd remember, this idiot decides to tweet buzzwords. I don't know the whole tweet, but Dis, do you have the whole tweet?
No, he blocked me. I can't.
Oh, okay. JD says, oh boy, Dax is upset at me again. Maybe you should tell Tony to fix your depleted and embarrassing tag division. You know, your division had its championships go undefeated for 4 months instead of worrying about what I have to say. Best tag team in the world, and they're worrying about what JD from New York has to say. Does anyone in AEW take criticism, or are they all salty mocks for themselves? I think we know the answer to that. The new and improved JD from New York. But yeah. Dax, I mean, good Lord, how are you this soft? How are you a professional wrestler and you are this soft? And just this mentality that FTR Bald has, where he is like, oh, we broke our bodies for 30 minutes. So I'm entitled to your cheers and nothing but praise. That's the noise that I think he makes every time he talks.
If someone were to tell me that this was a neckbeards like account that was a parody of an AEW wrestler, I would believe you 100%. I'd be like, oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny. But he's not. He's real, and it's sad. What is
Dude, he doesn't strike me as a tough guy whatsoever. What say you guys?
No.
Like,
the only time he's ever been tough in his life is when he was dragging the Rastafarian guy the Rastafarian had who jumped Bret Hart and he cheap shotted him in the face.
Yeah.
The guy deserved that cheap shot in the face, by the way.
Yeah, and it wasn't even FTR Bald. It was the other guy.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was the tough one. It was the one that.
Yeah, it was the actual tough one.
Oh, it was the actual man. It was the actual man in the mixed tag.
Mm-hmm.
The one that doesn't go online and talk crap all the time. And
yes, bald, not the bald, salty vagina. He is, because I can't with him. Between we deserve only positive things because we broke our bodies for 30 minutes. Nobody asked you to go do that. Shut up. Or the whole, like, if you speak out against AEW, you're trying to take food away from my family. Well, it wasn't why I was doing it, but now it is.
He did that sermon on I think it was either Rampage or Collision some months back. He was just like, every week we get to be your hero, we get to be your number one, and he's just so like, these guys need agents, they need PR firms, they need somebody to stop them from doing things like this.
It sounds
Isn't
so
it,
much like he's convincing himself now.
Yep,
It doesn't even
it's
sound like he's
exactly
trying to
what's
convince other
happening.
people. It's
Yeah.
he's
With his
looking at
goofy
like,
cop mustache.
yeah, he's looking at DIY and he's saying, I could have had that push if I would have stuck around. So I gotta make I gotta make sure that I'm as endeared to Tony as possible or something.
It would
Like,
be as flat. It'd be as flat as that one was.
Yeah.
I didn't need another reason to hate FTR Bald. So if it's his fault that I get punished with DIY every week, I hope he gets crushed by a house in the middle of a hurricane.
Can you say that on television?
Yeah, 'cause it's a Wizard of Oz reference.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You
You know where I think he got his big airhead from? I hate to say it, but the one and only Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette.
Jim doesn't even Jim is. I think he's had it with them too.
Oh yeah, he's had it with them, but he was the one that originally gassed them up. Even it's one of the few things that I thought Jim Cornette was completely wrong. I was just like, boy, you missed the mark, my friend, because FTR was never a factor. They don't even rank up there with like guys like the Killer Bees or good grief, I'm trying to just name some maudlin tag teams like Strike Force. Strike Force is more memorable than FTR.
Well, it's okay.
I get what Cornette wanted because they could have been the next Brain Busters. Not
Right,
unintelligent, but the Brain Busters. Because they had great chemistry, they were very physical, and they were different than what we were getting. But Vince was never going to go for it because he's like, oh, why are these Smurfs looking at me? Why is the bald one crying? Shave them. So they were doing fail, and it's nobody else's fault that they jumped the gun and signed a super long contract and wound up stuck. When I assure you, someone probably gave them the Iggy and said, "Now's the time to come back."
Well, and they were gonna, and then Vince did his. Vince launched his coup. They had the anti Jericho situation. Like they were about to come back with Tripp. Vince launched the coup, and then they backed away. And Tony was waiting for them with an 8-year contract. Meanwhile, Jericho saw Vince back and was about to jump back in, and then Vince got yanked away, and now it was Triple H, and Jericho went running back, and Tony had an 8-year contract waiting for him.
Yeah,
you know what also effed up the FTR? The Young Bucks. I mean, they really threw the stink right onto FTR
because they were jealous of them. It was
apparent.
Yeah, but I look at the end of the day, I want to like these guys. I always wanted to like them. I really, really did. But it was just I can't like them because he's just such a petulant child on Twitter. The way and when he takes the microphone and he cuts these just despicable promos of the rah-rah speeches that are so transparent. They're so transparently kissing up to Tony Khan because you want to get on TV, and that's the way you get on TV.
Yeah, when the whole
and the way he flicks his wrist and all that mess, like when he talks, it's just like, what are you, a bear? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's up in Cape Cod right now hunting after Kevin.
Yeah. When the whole thing with Punk happened, there was a period where I'm like, because he started doing it right after Punk left. And I kind of was like, okay, I gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was like, I don't want to be in trouble. So I'm gonna be the flag bearer for AEW, but it's gone on way too long now. It's like the fact that he's still doing it just shows you that he's mentally ill somehow. And I don't.
He would probably admit to that.
I think
being mentally ill.
Look, I think it is narcissism and just rampant insecurity. It is at the same time. At the same time, which sounds oxymoronic, but I think it's what's happening because I think he wants to be considered the greatest tag team wrestler in the world. However, he's stuck in this company that he knows is trash. He knows it's trash. He knows nobody's watching. And those promos are just nothing more. They're not a rah-rah speech for the crowd. Yes, they are an attempt to get Tony to put them on TV. He's pumping himself up, too.
Yes, he
has to convince himself that they made an okay decision to sign there for the rest of the prime of their careers. But I mean,
he's talking to his wife and his kids.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories about them in the past. With it, didn't I make that joke in the headlock headlines one time? By the way, where I was like Trip, where Tooney said to the Trip something like, oh, you just don't want AEW to fail, so WWE be number one. And he's like, no, I just want a bald FTR to not be able to feed his family, or like something ridiculous like that. Look, at the end of the day, this guy's making so much money. He can feed his family. If AEW went under tomorrow, his family's probably fine, unless he doesn't know how to manage money. But, it is absolutely insane to me how he conducts himself like this. The guy looks like a grown man, but he acts like a child, a petulant, whiny child. It's disgusting. Man up. Could you imagine if they had Twitter in like the 80s and like the Midnight Express is tweeting like that? I don't think that's ever happening. Sorry.
Do you know why he blocked me on Twitter? He blocked me
any number of reasons, I assume.
He blocked me because there was a video of Edge doing the Raw speech. Remember when he was out there doing the Raw speech with him? And I posted I posted the video and I said something about how, like, I cannot believe that Edge is being brought down to this. Like, this is what he is now. He's a cheerleader for AEW. And then Dax blocked me for that.
I'm sure Edge probably blocked you too. Edge is a blocking.
Oh yeah, he did. Edge blocked me too, but it just didn't make any sense. Like, I'm actually saying something positive about Edge, and they both blocked me. It's very weak. It's very soft, So
John JID 99. John JID 999 for 199 says, "As a North Carolinian, we do not claim them, just trash." Jamie Earhart for $5 Canadian says they should go to Back Shavers Anonymous, founded by George.
That didn't help them either. Yeah, that carried over into AEW along with them as well. It's almost like Vince knew, Kev. You're exactly right. It's like he knew.
You put a gimmick like that on somebody, man, it follows. Like Terry Taylor will always be the Red Rooster. It follows you.
Yeah,
it follows you. All right, what else do we got to talk about this week? I'm tired of talking about this loser with a dream. So how about the fact that WWE and AEW will be going head to head in the O-Town, Orlando, where I've got some family down there. Maybe I'll have to go. Maybe I'll have to go down and then not go to either of the shows. But the way people react
when's this?
To this, so it is
World's End.
It's World's End, but WWE has a house show that night, also in Orlando.
Yeah, it's the first show after Christmas break, and WWE is doing a show in Orlando because that's where the Performance Center are. That's where most of their wrestlers are. They can do a show there where they won't have to be on the road, and it's right after Christmas, so it's like a good start. But it happens on the same day as World's End. It's a house show. That's it. Like, I don't understand why that's such a big deal, but apparently it is.
Because the house show is going to outdraw them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. 100% it will. Yeah.
But so let's take a look here at what some of our high IQ AEW fans say about this. This was shared by our producer and wise man AEW Neckbeards, who says, "High IQ fan in response to WWE running a house show in Orlando the same day as AEW is running a pay-per-view. Call the authorities." Okay, in all seriousness, this is as low and dirty a tactic as WWE can pull. It might actually not even be legal. If you live in Florida, call your representatives. Call city council members or state senators or whatever and report this to them. They need to take action against WWE immediately.
They should do that.
Actually, yes. I encourage this. Yes, reach out to your representative. Call your local law enforcement.
I assume Tony Khan does this every time WWE comes to Florida. The equivalent of the indie promoter calling the fire marshal on the other guy. I want him in jail for what?
Hold on, I want to hear this directive from Kev. Call your representative and
call your local representative, your local law enforcement, your local media. make sure they all know that the WWE is in your town and they are conducting business. How dare
Yeah, I'm sure Florida is going to be very against that.
During hurricane season, that's just what they want to hear.
That's right. Everybody's endangered by the wrestling entertainment. What is it? World Wrestling Entertainment's greed. Triple H that wants to endanger minorities who enjoy wrestling when they could not be enjoying AEW.
I think that they should all meet on neutral ground. They should meet up at Hogan's Beach Shop and just settle this out like men. Yo ho, brother.
More AEW wrestlers would get in than WWE wrestlers, to be fair.
to Hogan's Beach Shop? Oh yeah, that's true.
Based
That
on
is
the
true.
dress
So
code.
they're
the
obviously
the beach shop does not have the dress code disc.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So go ahead.
they're
Alfred.
obviously going to be in the same vicinity. I'm always curious to know when these guys get together at the same Ramada Inn or whatever bar or club or whatever, like, and you guys would probably know a world better than me. What is the conversation? You know, is it just like, hey, I like what you're doing on that fledgling, wrestling show that you guys got there? Or is it something like, dude, get me the F out of here? Like, like how
contract tampering? That would be
would it be? Okay. All right.
according to Tony. Yes.
Wrestlers can talk to each other.
Right.
They
Yeah.
talk to each other about their, well, it's what 30, 40 years ago, there may have been fists thrown, depending on how we were feeling about the competition.
Mhm.
Now
Maybe
now
how
they're friends.
about 5 years ago when MVP punched Chris Jericho in an elevator? What about that?
Oh, that's because Chris Jericho said something really stupid.
Yeah. I don't fight jobbers.
You know?
While
Okay.
running away into the elevator.
Wow.
It's like, all right, well, 3rd degree black belt MVP feels a certain way about that.
Mm.
Goodness. So
But
let's talk about the contract tampering thing, because Tony was talking about the fact that WWE is still contract tampering and all this, that, and the other thing, and then all of a sudden,
I love this.
we see somebody likes the Instagram post, and for some reason I didn't have this ready to go, but it says
the king of trolls.
Yep, Triple H liked the Instagram post reporting about it.
That's legit,
awesome.
by the way.
That's
we
legit.
That's confirmed.
That's legit. That was actually Triple H liking it.
Wow.
So this is John JAD 999 for 199 asks to comment on that, and we needed a new topic, so I'll get to the other super chats in a second. But yeah, I mean, Tripp has just got to be like, yeah, I dare you to try to take me to court over this, because they've got Tony dead to rights several times. Moxley was filming things for AEW while he was in WWE still, wasn't he?
Yep.
What?
Somebody said that to me the other day, and I was like, what? But apparently that happened.
Edge had a whole video package ready when he came in, and that and a theme song, and that was what, 2 days after SmackDown he showed up on AEW.
Jeff Hardy, wandered out of WWE, in a supposedly drunken haze, and then when they let him go, a day later he's in AEW. Come on, you don't think Tony Khan had that deal worked out with him already?
Time to go back to 80s WWE, like just blackball him, never to come back.
When he talks about bots, when he talks about like, oh, WWE uses bots to attack AEW, AEW uses bots all the time. I've caught them several times using bots.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a whole thread about it a while ago, where you could see all the people that responded to posts that were posting the exact same thing, but slightly. It wasn't even worded different. It was like different misspellings on words. It was very obvious. Oh, and one of them, remember the one that left the thing that said "copy this comment" in the comment? It's so bad. And
So
now Dave, was it Meltzer who was saying that Tony's considering suing them over contract tampering?
I'm sure Dave said it, but
and just 2 months before that, he was just like, I'd love to work with the WWE.
Oh,
The possibility is.
And then 2 months before that, they were the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling.
Bipolar con.
And-
Holy cow.
And then 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be, oh, I don't understand why WWE doesn't want to work with me, because he always has to paint them as they're the reason. It's because you will not stop talking. Like he has diarrhea of the mouth. He opens his mouth and just putrid, watery turds fly out of it.
But this does go to show that Triple H does pay attention to the internet. He's looking.
I've heard that. I've heard that about Triple H.
A comment just came out this week. It was from a wrestler who said that Triple H is backstage in gorilla position looking at Twitter during the show to get fan reactions, because the only thing that he cares about is how the fans react. He doesn't care about what Dave Meltzer says about WWE. He cares about the reaction from his audience. And
Tony Khan won the Wrestling Observer Booker of the Year and threw himself a ticker tape parade with the banners and like the congratulations stuff. Triple H won it last year and never acknowledged it. It was a running joke on Headlock Headlines for weeks where he was just like, I won what? Oh, ew. Like, it's exactly what he's like. He's never going to acknowledge it.
Yeah, you're sooner going to see Triple H holding a PWI award in his hand than you would some Wrestling Observer newsletter rag of a. I know.
I'm pretty sure they acknowledged when one of their guys got the PWI number when Seth got it a couple years ago. They
still do it. They still do it.
And they also, what else they do is they also call on Bill Apter at press conference.
Yeah. Tyler Golansky for $4.99. Thank you so much. Says FTR was dead to Jim Cornette when they hung around Orange Cassidy instead of iron sheiking him. In other words, humbling and breaking his back. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the thing is, like, you can't be taken seriously as professional wrestlers when you hang around with all these clowns and you support all these clowns. It's, all right. Enough about all these faux men. Are we ready to see some real men? We're ready to see some real men on the Morton Downey Jr. show as we continue.
Hey, part 3. Let's do this.
Man. By the way, I'm still reading the Dave Schultz autobiography, and it's still really, really good. I'm finally at the part where he's in the WWF. And it's great, but the book is starting to fall apart. Because
why?
I think, you know what? I brought it to the pool and I think it got wet and I think it like undid the glue on the spine and now it's starting to fall apart.
I don't make my book for no Florida pussies. You got
It wasn't even a Florida pool.
New Jersey. Yeah,
being red in New Jersey.
These
Yankee
pools.
Gotta be in the mountains if you want to read my book. You need high altitude.
I don't want no chlorine in my water.
What was it? Above ground pool.
Oh my God! All right, let's get back. I got us right where we left off.
God damn, you read one page a day, don't you?
No, I like.
You should have been done this thing,
dude. Have you seen the size of that book?
No, I have not. It was a phone book.
It's a phone. It's a phone book.
And it disintegrates within 10 of wine or mead. I'm sorry. So that's why.
Yes. Do you have any idea how little time I have in my day, awful, with both these channels?
I can kind of relate.
Downey Jr. Show, furnished by Redwood Limousine.
Now you blocked my phone number. Sweet.
Call 212-226-7665.
Call back.
All right, what we got here? Here we go.
By the way, that music is awesome.
Oh, it's great.
Honey, a new edition. A new edition. Shut up! New edition on home base, all right?
What?
Connected with
No, I'm saying that's
what?
you. You're just Morton Downey Jr. hosting this podcast.
I guess I might actually be like when you guys are talking through super chats, and I'm like, shut up. God, here we go.
Wrestling night nobody else has ever been. Wrestling's ambassador. He served as a pro wrestler, a promoter, manager, a movie star. I mean, you go on it. He's got it all. Lou Albano, the captain.
Oh, there he is, the captain.
Lou,
This is post Rock and Wrestling Connection, right? Where we're at
Yes,
now?
obviously, because
Okay.
now they know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
you've been listening to everything that's been going on in the show. Mr. Wilson here was just applauding you. Means even he has respect
Well, I'm not
for you, all
for
right?
his applause. I'm not even looking for. I want to say something more.
Now, let me ask you something, all right?
Yeah,
You
go
identify with professional wrestling as
Captain Lou was ready to launch into it right there, and then Morton Downey Jr. was like, hold on.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
much as anybody
There's
in
super
America
chats.
has been. Does the discussion we've been having tonight bear any resemblance to the wrestling that you've known?
Let me tell you something more. The discussion that's going on here tonight is utterly ridiculous. I've been involved in wrestling since 1953. And I'll admit that today there's a little bit getting away from the wrestling, a little bit of showmanship and so forth. But to me, there's still a world.
Oh, wow. He's complaining about the AEW already.
Of greatest athletes. When a guy comes out here like this half-wit, and a guy like that moaning about black, I started in with Bobo Brazil.
Moaning about black. Did you hear that guy out here moaning about black?
Shout out, counselor.
With Bear Cat Wright, with Black Boy and Sweet Daddy Seeking, and they made something. And let me tell you something. Yeah, go ahead.
But look here, you started in with every
Oh, here we go.
individual. You stayed around. Each one of them individuals had to pack their suitcase and leave, but you stayed there and made the money.
That's not true.
You just
Bear
talking,
Cat Wright
you just talking a lot of stuff, man.
He died. Bear Cat Wright died and passed away.
He died because he couldn't get a job.
Bobo Brazil was used by
Couldn't
the
get a job.
I can't work. I'm gonna die.
What is Schultz? Look at Schultz just like posing there. Like he's in a girly magazine. Like,
Yeah. Isn't that the same pose Shawn Michaels did?
yeah, he play girl.
You know who them girly magazines are for.
He's man spreading too, right over that Jim Wilson.
Oh man.
He's gonna put his leg on top of it.
Wait a minute.
He's screaming about Bobo Brazil. Now everyone's yelling.
Let me answer the question.
Yep.
All right, I'm on the board. Just a minute. Bobo Brazil wrestled right here in the Meadowlands in the Old Timers Day a few years ago. Wrestling was good to Bobo. He was one of the favorite guys of Willie Gilson.
That's what listen to Captain Lou talk.
As far as this halfwit talking about blades, my wife was sitting out there and I've been married to for 34 years. If I were to use an object to cut my face, she'd divorce me tomorrow. Let me tell you this.
The next day, she divorced him.
Yeah, she found out the truth.
Yeah.
I worked with Bobo Brazil's son.
Did you?
Yeah, he was a fitness manager near a sports club for a lot of years.
Oh, that's
Brazil.
cool.
Good dude.
Huh. His last name was actually Brazil.
Anytime I
He
wrestle,
sure as hell wouldn't want that pretty face.
well, you
Brazzle.
Now, anytime I wrestle.
And I drew money.
Oh, we
And,
just skipped something. Something got edited out here. We're back to Thunderbolt Patterson talking about drawing money.
I just wanted the same chance that the rest of them was getting.
Just a minute. Bobo
Oh,
Brazil
and then we're
wrestled
back.
right here in the Meadowlands in the Old Timers Day a few years ago. Wrestling was good to Bobo. He was one of the favorite guys of Willie.
Can I just point out, like, what Thunderbolt's talking about here? Like, he undoubtedly faced racism. Like,
100%.
Yes.
undoubtedly faced rancid racism in the South
None
as a
of us-
wrestler in that time period.
We all might be fans of Captain Lou Albano, and we might be fans of Dr. D, but none of us are defending them in this conversation.
No,
The
it's-
record show. They're sticking
Yeah,
up
but
for
the
wrestling
problem that-
business.
The problem
back
with
then he
Patterson,
Go ahead.
the problem with Patterson is that he's overblowing it, as like all of my uncles were likely to do.
You know, I
like you
I
just
have heard,
a bridge
I have heard
too
awful-
far.
I have heard that Patterson had a problem with blowing things.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunderbolt Patterson.
No.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Thunderbolt
okay.
Patterson. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one.
Yeah, he reminds me just like my
And as
uncle.
far as this halfwit talking about blades,
Pat Patterson?
No, Thunderbolt
Oh.
Patterson. God damn it.
No, Pat Patterson reminds
My
me of
wife
my
is sitting
uncle.
out there, and I've been married for 33 years. I would use an object to cut my face. She'd divorce me tomorrow. Let me tell you this. Anytime I
He
wrestle...
sure as hell wouldn't want that pretty face.
Well, you ain't
Okay, so
kidding.
we're getting a little bit of
All right. Anytime
it
I
backtracked
wrestled
a little.
and I got beat, I was beat by a better man. I'll tell you that now. And anytime I got bleeding or blood, it was when I was...
God, they're just stone faced lying. It's amazing. And like they're
Hey.
such good liars too.
Yeah, they're working, brother.
Like you
Jerry.
believe it.
Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it.
steel cage match, and they took my fat face and ran it up against a 12-foot steel cage. That's how I got this. That's how I got that. Not from using nothing. So this man's a liar, and I don't believe it.
I thought. Did anyone else think Lou was about to jump out of his seat at Thunderbolt? He like kind of lunged.
He wouldn't dare.
No,
Yeah.
he wouldn't do that.
Wait a second. Jim, you have
Was that Ray
been
Traylor?
ominously silent through all of this, all right?
Probably.
Honestly silent. I've just been listening to everybody. The thing about it, and I was applauding Lou and
I don't want your applause.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
what we're
sure.
talking about is the money in the business, Mort.
That's right. You couldn't draw flies, brother.
That's right. Testify, brother. He can't draw flies if you give.
You want to know something, Lord? I was in the business. I wrestled.
They're like on this show. They like have to like try to get that one-liners over each other.
Yeah. Yeah, catchphrasing.
I love
ahead,
how he
Diz.
just throws Thunderbolt Patterson completely under the bus when he realizes that he might be able to get these guys to go with him. Like he's just like, oh no, I agree with the white guys. That's who I agree with.
Uh-huh.
So petty.
I never made no big money because I wasn't that good a wrestler. Then I got in and started.
You made big money in WWF, Lou. I'm pretty sure, at least.
When he became a manager.
Yeah.
He's about to admit.
And I was manager of 17 tag team champions, 2 in the Continental and 1 world champion. I didn't make money at that, but as a wrestler, I was still Lou Albano. I wasn't capable of drawing money. I never made the money of the legendary Bruno Sammartino and wrestlers like that.
Did any of you see Lou like the years before he died? Like he was rail thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rail thin.
Hang on, Jim's got something on his lap here. Don't read the whole damn thing to me. What I
was getting to more was the money in the business.
Oh, what is
and
it?
the proportionate amount of money that trickles down to the performers is nowhere commensurate to what all of us have been put into.
A handout? Is that what
What, you want a handout? Oh, look at him right in his face.
Damn right. This is how blue hair should be treated.
I'm on Patterson
Seriously.
side now.
That's how they used to be.
You some kind of red communist.
We want promoters. We admit the promoters. We might call you more angels, more. We'd like the boys to have hospitalization. We'd like to benefit things and all. But there's money out there to be made. If a guy's a good athlete, if he can do it right, he can draw money. There were wrestlers like, again, I mentioned the name of Bruno Sammartino. They got right out there now. They didn't like him. Why?
It's a good Italian boy, Captain Lou Albano, mentioned in Bruno Sammartino.
He was Italian. He drew money, yet I was Italian. I didn't draw no money. As a wrestler, as a manager, I did my share.
All right,
So
let
there's
me
no
ask you a
prejudice
question.
in there.
Let me
They're
ask you
great
a question.
athletes.
Look,
All right.
let me ask Lou a question. Let's ask the question, all right, that every American who's seen wrestling matches asks.
Okay.
Do you guys know who's going to win before the match starts?
Well, I can tell you right now, I made the statement before. Every time I got beat by a better man. I don't know what goes on throughout the entire world of wrestling. I can't say, but what I will say.
Pro wrestling entertainer? That's weird. That's weird.
He did not see that cry on.
Could you imagine if they tried to put that over Schultz? He'd sense it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over match. You never see a Hulk Hogan up against a Ric Flair. You never see a Bruno Sammartino against a Hulk Hogan. They know now probably that David Schultz can whip my tail. So if I go in with David Schultz, he'll just beat me when he can. I don't know of any peer agent. No one ever came to me.
Are they sure that Dr. D can whip Jim?
Yes, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure. Schultz is dying for the green light to beat the living hell out of this guy on national television.
And Morton Downey Jr. is now becoming a booker.
Morton Downey Jr. cannot. He's trying to figure out a way that legally he can make this happen.
Yeah.
Do we got a ring out back?
Carluzzo is begging for it to happen, by the way. I guarantee.
Well, I wouldn't have to tell Jim Wilson to lose, because when Dr. D was ready to beat him, he whipped him with an inch of his life.
That's right. And I can do it now. I'll do it right here.
I believe it.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it. I'll do it right now. You don't got to ask me twice.
Yeah, just say the word.
I love that he's sitting next to him like that now, too.
Let me go to a lady who's a hell of a lot prettier than you are. Right?
Who's this?
Lou Albano. You want to say something?
Is that Lou's wife?
No way.
Is it?
I guess I can be as good as witness as anyone else. Lou came home pretty battered a lot of times. And it was for real, from what I could see.
He's looking at her like, don't say it.
You watch what you say, lady.
He's murmuring the word kayfabe. Kayfabe.
But now, did these guys smarten their families up? Like, I always wondered that. Like, do you smarten your kids up? Like, especially if you're
You
a
have
heel?
no choice but to smarten them up, Marv.
Like,
I mean, come on now.
If you're a heel and like you're doing these dastardly things on TV, like you got to tell your kid, right? There's a great story.
Yeah.
There's a great story about the fact that Dusty did not smarten Cody up at all. And when Dusty turned heel and joined the NWO, Cody like called him crying. And
Bret Hart
Dusty
too?
And Dusty
All the
was
Hart
like,
kids.
Yeah, and Dusty was like, "This is just something I gotta do." just let Cody cry.
Broken wrist.
Look at the nose.
His nose has been broken so many times.
Tell me that's a fake.
How many stitches have you had?
Over 700 stitches and plastic surgery done, and here's my nose, no bone, my back 3 times, my hand's broken. And let me tell you something, this guy's trying to knock wrestling, but people are still calling. Because I got to wait a minute, boy.
And that was from promoting.
All right, now listen to this. I've got a number right now, 1-900-909 for Lou, and over 150,000 people a month.
I'm calling it.
And David
No, you're not. Captain Lou Albano's 1-900 number. Oh, this is the Big Mean Gene saw that and was just like, it sounds like a swell idea.
Oh, Gene has the 900 number and the 800 number.
Yes.
Right there is the coordinator of that show. On WrestleMania Day, 278,000 people called the line. So the interest is there, and half put morons like this with the brain of a dehydrated baby if they put his
If 278,000 people called it on WrestleMania, is it an automated thing?
Jim?
Yep.
Yeah. Jim, you brought. Let me go to Jim for a second because he's called wrestling a soap opera for stuntmen. Did the promoters tell you when to lose or win?
Let me just.
Did they tell you when to lose
Let
or
me
win?
quote Vince McMahon, okay? Both of these gentlemen, I believe, have worked for Vince McMahon.
Oh, God.
I have worked for
Okay, great. All right, good.
That's right. You wasn't good enough.
Fine.
Thank you.
If they really, they wanted to ask me.
Give it to me fast, baby.
If
It's only
the
an
matches
hour.
were predetermined, I'm going to try to read you.
Oh, good Lord. This guy is just taking his time.
That Vince McMahon gave to the Associated Press. Okay?
Supposedly.
Supposedly, it's right here.
I mean, you believe everything you see him reading?
If they really did the things it looks like they're doing to each other, there would be a lot of dead wrestlers. McMahon told the Associated Press. Okay?
Oh, Schultz is seething right now.
Question: did they
Yep.
ever ask you to win or lose a match?
Yes, every night.
Every night.
Absolutely. Who asked you to do it?
Who the hell asked you to do that? Was it the promoter that was sticking it to you?
Who asked you to do it? 2 Vince McMahons. Which one? Which one you talking about?
Which one you talking about? Junior?
No, that's a lie. Wait a minute.
Oh, they are hot.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're because here's the thing. They know Vince said it.
Yeah.
They know that he's not. They know that he's
They're trying to shout him down.
Yeah.
I am not a personal friend of Vince McMahon Jr. I worked for his dad for 35 years, the greatest promoter in the world I ever knew. But Vince McMahon Jr. and I had a...
Is he trying to say he never worked for Vince McMahon Jr.? Yes, he did, Lou.
No, he's about to say it.
Differences. But I do not believe that he meant that statement the way he's talking about it. He's saying there is a certain amount of showmanship in professional wrestling, which we don't deny. But he means that some of the things that happen in there, at times, a man is not out to kill. He wants to win, but he doesn't try to kill his opponent. But yet sometimes they get carried away. And what McMahon was trying
I don't protect nobody.
Man, Lou is working overtime right now.
Oh, yeah.
So don't ever believe this
I've heard Lou Albano cut some great promos in my time. This is a great Lou Albano promo.
He's not one of them. He's not one of them.
He not one of them.
Back in just a minute. We're going to come back and we're going to look into the deep heart and soul of wrestling, my friends. We're going to talk to one of the great teachers. Stand by.
I think that's where we leave it this week. We like to go to the commercial breaks. Oh my goodness.
How much of this do you think there's a chance that like at least Lou and maybe Patterson and Arcadia and Dr. D got together and said, let's work this guy?
Probably.
Yeah. That's what because it kind of does feel like that, right? Like I'm not saying that
they might just be calling it in the ring.
Yeah, true. Because it doesn't seem like they're actually mad at Patterson the way they're mad at the Jim Wilson guy. You know what I mean? Like,
you think with Patterson?
I think Patterson. Yeah, it's like because they're going after him, but they're not going after him the same way that they're going after the Jim Wilson.
No, because he's not. Because Patterson's not taking money out of their pocket as this Jim Wilson guy. Like this Jim Wilson guy is he's the modern day like whistleblower. Or the first generation whistleblower. And it's just like, oh, we can't have that. We must turn on this guy with his fruit veil haircut. Like what these guys have just had it with this guy. Like, what are you trying to do, dude? They smacked him up right after this show.
Oh, that guy better run when those cameras go off if Schultz.
Oh, yeah. He ran faster than Dave
I think a stagehand pulled him aside and said to him,
Go! Right now. The hell out of here.
Ron, I can't remember his last name, Ron, for a while. Mentioned, no, in our chat. He was mentioning a Provocateur, the documentary about Morton Downey Jr. I've seen some people asking about Morton Downey in the chat. If you want to learn about him, watch that documentary. That is a great documentary.
I don't even really know much about him. I don't know.
He also plays a fast Predator too.
Yes.
He's what?
Yeah.
He also has a great role in Predator 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he is fascinating. And he staged an attack from a white supremacist group at some point. Like it's some crazy stuff. I highly recommend that documentary.
Is that where he got hit in the nose?
Yeah.
With a chair?
And they wrote like KKK on his head and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
All right. Jamie Earhart for $2 Canadian says Dr. D needs to be hired as an announcer somewhere. Oh, could you imagine? You imagine like sitting at a booth with Excalibur?
Apparently he's too busy picking cotton to do that.
Yeah, no, apparently he is he drives a cotton truck. Dave Schultz. We have been trying to get him on the show, but we're told that it's his busy season because he's driving the cotton truck.
Counselor is clutching his chest right now.
No, we're talking about Dave Schultz.
Oh my heavens!
Them pearls have been clutched.
The stars and garters. Colin Taylor for $5. Can you explain why Triple H hates Jericho? So I mean, do you want like the real reason, or do you want like our reason? That's like the big difference there. Our reason is always been that Vince Russo and Triple H wanted to call Jericho Excalibur and put him in DX, and Jericho didn't want to do it, which is a real thing that happened. And we always said that that's why Triple H calls him Cal, and it made him like livid. But I honestly think that Jericho, based on what I was able to glean from Jericho's autobiography, which is obviously a very one-sided story, it sounded like Triple H did not appreciate the way Jericho carried himself in the locker room when he first came in. And I think back then there was also heat on WCW guys when they walked in the door.
And also Jericho was very, very vocal while he was leaving WCW about Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, who are very, very good friends with Triple H. So I'm sure
that makes sense. If Kevin Nash and Scott Hall don't like Chris Jericho, then Triple H doesn't like Chris Jericho.
It's the same reason it's taken 25 years for the WWE to acknowledge that Shane Douglas exists. Other than his hatred of Shawn, it was really more about him kicking Scott Hall out of an ECW locker room.
Yeah, because wasn't there a thing back? Yeah, wasn't there a thing back in the day too where Jericho didn't want to work with X-Pac, or maybe it was the other way around. One of them didn't want to work with the other one in WCW. So, yeah,
I would imagine. I know Jericho didn't want to work with the NWO because when you worked with the NWO, you just got steamrolled.
Right. So it probably was Jericho not wanting to work with X-Pac.
Maybe I remember there was something with Jericho and X-Pac in the book.
I also wouldn't be surprised if because Jericho's entrance into the WWF, let's face it, gentlemen, is probably one of the top 10 best introductions to a professional wrestler ever. I mean, it's still memorable. So I'm sure there's a little bit of jealousy in that as well.
This guy comes in and he's supposed to beat The Rock in his debut. And we later found out that Triple H kibosh that, but think about that. He got a king's welcome and was supposed to be the number one guy.
The guy went from feuding with Dean Malenko to challenging The Rock in his debut. WWE rolled out the red card, and not only that, I think that might have been the longest build for a debut at that time ever. I can't think.
And did they even know who it was going to be?
I mean, it was
you know what I mean at the time. Well, even before they even called it Y2J, there was a countdown that I'll never forget it. There was a countdown, and no one knew who the hell it was going to be. Did they even know it was going to be Chris Jericho?
No, everyone knew. Everyone knew.
Okay, gotcha.
That was always
a mark.
Yeah, it was one of those weird things where the internet, dirt sheets weren't what they are today, but everybody just kind of knew.
Yeah, there was contract tampering involved back in the day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I can still watch that video and get chills, man. It's so good.
One of the greatest. It's one of the greatest debuts in WWE history. But I guess you had problems with what Shane Douglas kicked Scott Hall out of a ECW locker room. I never heard that story.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll track down the full story, but yeah, they showed.
He got Taz and New Jack and everybody else to go against them and all that shit.
Wow.
I think
he was just like, bro, I'll just leave.
That Pro Wrestling Stories website, I think, has it on there. Great website, by the way. If anybody needs something to read on the toilet, that's a good website to go to.
All right. Well, finding out what this reads on the toilet is probably cue for time to end the show this week. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for showing up and for super chatting along. You guys were very generous this week, and it's really, really helpful. It helps. It really helps keep the channel afloat, keep us going week to week. It's all put back into the channel. So, we appreciate all the donations that you guys give in, and we appreciate you guys sharing your insight with us. Awful Wrestling, what do you got to say for yourself this week?
Thank you guys for enjoying the collaboration video that me and Dis did last week. It was right on time, if you ask me. And you can check us all out on X. You can check me out, AEW FUL Wrestling. And thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Thank you for being here. Dis, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Any Maxx'd Out Media stuff coming?
Max just going back to school. We've been kind of slow because we've been gearing up for back to school, but hopefully once that kind of steadies a little bit, we're going to get back into it. I have been playing TEW 9 all day. I downloaded a mod that allowed me to rebook WCW when it was bought by Shane McMahon as if he actually took it over. And speaking of that, we do have a winner in our contest.
We do have a winner in the contest. So you want to announce that now?
Plenty in Pixel Art is the winner of the copy of TEW 9. So I will reach out.
That's great. That's awesome.
Put them all in a random number. I let Alexa, I said pick a number between 1 and blank. And I assigned the numbers, and Alexa picked Plenty in Pixel Art. So
wow, that's fantastic. Congratulations, Plenty in Pixel Art. So how does he get that? He got to get in touch with you.
He's on our Discord, which you should join, by the way. John JID does a great job on there, by the way. But he is on it, and you can go to our Twitter account, AEW Disciplinary, and find the link. But he is on our Discord. I will message him there and give him the code. So hopefully we'll be doing some stuff with that. I want to wait until the inevitable Monday Night Wars thing comes out before we start making content, because I think it'd be fun. Mish wants to play, so I thought it'd be fun if one of us took WCW, one of us took WWE, and then Marv, you can have ECW, and kind of do.
Why do I get ECW?
I figure you're very busy. It's only an hour as opposed to 2 hours or 4 hours a week.
Yeah,
so I thought you'd be better off booking that. So.
Yeah, I'll take ECW. All right. Well, and Kevin Apollo, speaking of people that should join our Discord server, Kevin Apollo, we've got a big week coming up, you and I, on Thursday, a 2,500 subscriber celebration over there on Tooney Town TV. For Tooney Talk TV, Thursday night, 8 p.m. We're gonna be roasting the Acolyte as it was just canceled, and we are gonna be celebrating 2,500 subscribers over there in just a period of under 3 months. So I'm sure you're very excited for that.
Of course, that's Thursday night is my other favorite tea night of the week. So
we had a great stream. We had a great stream this past week. WDW Pro popped in. We had a really good time. We had a great panel, and we always do every week. We have a great time. So tune in with us, folks. Celebrate with us Thursday night, 8 p.m. A 2,500 subscriber celebration over on Tooney Town TV for Tooney Talk TV. And of course, I just dropped a new video over on Tooney Town TV about the Acolyte being canceled. So head over there and check it out when you got the chance. We have new content dropping there every single morning at 7 a.m. And once we're off here, I got to go work on the next thing for tomorrow morning. So my night's not over yet. Well, thank you again to everybody who tuned in, everybody who super chatted, everybody who chatted, everybody who thought about super chatting and then even didn't. We love that you even had the thought, and we love you guys just for even tuning in and listening and watching and sharing your love of professional wrestling with us. So thank you guys very much. But from all of us here at Tooney Talk TV, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!